Four-way says that he can hear me or until I'm confident. Yeah, it says 6 seconds on the thing. I think it's probably running. Four-way, let me know if the audio isn't coming in through the game, but I think it is. So welcome back to We Play Games. I'm Walker, and here we are in part 2 of our vanilla playthrough here on Humankind. I really sincerely fully hope that we finish the game today, because I think that if I pay remote attention to the game, I think we can get there. But we are, I think, in a really interesting position here. Okay, great. Can you hear the music too? Is it too loud? I can turn my headphones. I'm actually going to turn my headphones down just a little bit because it's much for me. Okay, great. Excellent. So we're going to simultaneously, yeah, no, not a problem. We're going to simultaneously talk through kind of like the position that we're in right now, and then sort of also a meta conversation about like another subject that I think is sort of important whenever it comes to like playing a 4X and trying to learn how to play a 4X, which is the problem of benchmarking. So the first thing that I want to say about benchmarking is that I understand why people are attracted to it. Like if you can just say how much production should I have on this turn, then that gives you like an idea of, you know, am I learning the game well? Are my fundamentals good? Am I getting a good grasp on what I'm supposed to be doing? And if not, then maybe I can find ways to improve. But the issue with benchmarking is that, like we've already highlighted in a bunch of the other streams, there are enormous deltas between starts when it comes to 4Xs. That's just true. You can do things to smooth out the deltas between starts, like if you just manual a bunch of fights against the AI, you can just steamroll them a lot faster and then get, you know, like a lot more scaling that way. But like the fact of the matter is, even if you're doing that, if your start is not very good in Humankind in particular, like if you just don't find a bunch of mammoths, your growth pattern is going to be unrecognizable versus a save file where you do find a bunch of mammoths. Not to hawk that video, but to just give you like a specific object to look at. I really would watch the Bantu Madness stream, because that really does, I think, underline primarily why I think if you're trying to use benchmarks in a 4X, you're going to have a lot of trouble trying to learn. What you really need to be doing in a 4X is, when you're trying to learn it, is just pay as much attention as you can. Try to, if you have the ability to do, you know, recordings or streamings like this, then that's also a really good pedagogical tool for yourself, because you can learn a lot from watching your own mistakes and trying to figure out how to fix them. But if you don't have that ability, don't, you know, that's not a problem, but just be aware that relying on fixed heuristics in terms of what your economy should be doing is typically going to hurt your learning long term. What you really need to be doing is you know, Daft Punk. You need to be doing harder, better, faster, stronger. That needs to be your goal most of the time, with the understanding that some spawns are going to be a little more favorable than others. But we are also going to go ahead and use this as an opportunity to just like talk through how we are going to attempt to get value out of Machu Picchu. So Machu Picchu in vanilla is kind of broken. Food generically in Humankind is not like the most powerful resource in the game. There are a lot of problems which we are going to need to fix up pretty much immediately if we want to keep getting value out of Machu Picchu. Because what we're going to see here on vanilla is that the other side to food, which is, you know, like the first side to food, which we talk about a lot, is that, you know, production allows you to create other kinds of things. Industry lets you create other kinds of widgets, and then science, of course, scales out like virtually everything, and so it allows you to grow your economy in a real sense a lot faster than food does. That's a little different on Dante, but really only a little different on Dante. It's very different on VIP, and that's why I love VIP so much, that food is a lot better there. But even on VIP, you do kind of need a way to get your pops to do something. Bruno has fixed this a little bit by giving you unemployment bonuses for pops that grow past their natural cap. But what we're gonna see here is that if we do not come up with a solution for the grotesque number of pops that we're gonna be growing in the near to immediate future, our economy is actually gonna come to a stall. So what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to come up with ways to just find infinity jobs. That's really where we want to be. And one of the best sources of jobs is this guy right here, because this is the how do you interact with human children law, the one that gives you access to a buttload of extra jobs in either researchers or worker slots. So that's not to suggest that necessarily urban planning is something that we are rushing towards. Yo, what's up, Bruno? We just had a brief conversation about benchmarking in 4Xs, and now we are having a sort of a brief conversation of, oh god, we built Machu Picchu, now what are we supposed to do, because we're gonna have like a million pops doing nothing and in pretty short order. But that is a fixable problem thanks to the fact that we are here on hamlets. I think we're probably going to have to factor in the fact that we have Machu Picchu into our decision process for the next two cultures that we have. But the other like pseudo conversation that we're going to be having here is one about victory conditions, because in basically any sort of engine builder, you do want to focus on your growth first, because that will help you typically acquire the most victory conditions into the mid and late game in basically every engine builder that exists. Depends a little bit on how you think about things like Dune Imperium or Twilight Imperium. Those are not really engine builders, but they definitely have engine building characteristics, and so and those are pretty different, where like you do actually genuinely want to get a lot of victory points as quickly as you can. But I know that Bruno has readjusted victory conditions in VIP and has made the issue that we are going to experience here, which I have discovered, rather than like one of the things that like really triggers me on Reddit is when people are like, oh, don't play meta slop, like just explore the game. Like I have explored the game. I have way too many hours in these games, and I've explored them, and I can tell you that if you explore them, you will discover that there are a ridiculous number of noob traps in like every single 4X that has ever existed, in ways that are really concerning to me, because they say strange things about the game's development, but like there really do not seem to be a lot of different victory conditions in Humankind if you are willing to look at the mechanics behind them. Like you really want to just go to space most of the time, and so that kind of like influences my behaviors and my decision-making process at the end of the game in a way where it's sort of like that Beavenary post from I just want to play Humankind. Like it frustrates me that I have to kind of play in this direction. But if I don't, then I feel like I'm disrespecting the game's rules, right? Because I am paying enough attention to the game to figure out what's going on a non-zero amount of the time. And so that just means that like I have to be choosing to hurt myself if I want to play with some of the other victory conditions. And I don't think that that's reasonable. I don't think that we should be asking players to hurt themselves. I think rebalancing the rocket ship down is definitely a solution. I don't think it's the only solution, because honestly, I kind of like the fact that the game ends pretty quickly in Humankind, like once you snowball to an appropriate level. And given that there's like a lot more friction in VIP, I honestly think that I'd be more interested in making the other victory conditions better than making rocket ship worse. But rocket ship is just way better than the other ones, like not even remotely close, and that is a big issue when it comes to the mid and late game for Humankind for me. There are definitely map settings where you'll end up with like a better outcome playing with the different win conditions. Like on a smaller map, you just kill everybody, but it is a game that has like sort of a limited late game in terms of game balance, and that's a problem for me, but it's a problem that is fixed on VIP, and that is one of the bazillion reasons why that is the format that we'll be primarily covering on this channel. It's unfortunate all these hamlets are just making a billion food, and we're already going to have a billion food, but all of the hamlets are also going to come with 4 worker slots, so that's pretty good. I'm not too worried about that. Worker slots, by the way, are one of those things where we're not going to be getting a bunch of our scaling in terms of growth from workers. We're going to continuously be floating more and more from like pop growth or like pop production over to things like exploitation and districts. And we'll eventually want to also start pumping out a bunch of research quarters, because we are going to need them in order to close out the late game. But I think our immediate term problem, the immediate issue, is that we're just going to have like 10,000 jobs or 10,000 pops and like not enough jobs for them. So we have to fix that first. I'm also not sure how much I want to invest from Macumba into this central tile here, because I think what we're also going to end up doing is merging Dipata into Mokenge, so that way we get access to the Lake Natrone. Generally speaking, I don't want to be running a bunch of farms, but because this is where we have the Machu Picchu, this is a way for us to just get really an unhinged number of pops in a relatively short period of time. And that's a good thing to do. An unhinged number of whatevers is usually where you want to be in terms of developing your economy in basically any 4x that exists. These are really cheap, so I guess I'm okay doing that. And then we'll do this, and then we'll probably end up. Oh, right, we're gonna end up also looking at our civics, because I don't know why I forgot to click open-minded like 600 turns ago, but I did forget to click on open-minded like 600 turns ago. So now we're gonna get a little bit extra growth there. I'm not sure if we're gonna want political entitlement immediately, because like we're not really using tons of emblematic units right now. Well, we might make some emblematic units because we're researching centralized power right now, so we'll have access to our EU, but we'll play it by ear. We'll see what's under the fog out here. There's a bunch of random units for our guys to fight, and we just have so much gold to burn. Good. Yeah, I think we can also get extra stars out there by just fighting those guys. Yeah, that looks good. Let's get some extra stars. Try to clear this out. We can grab those. Yeah, we can grab that. That's pretty good. And then I gotta get a feel for if we want to try to bulldoze purple like immediately after attacking all of these free cities, but I kind of feel like no is the answer, because like one thing that I was kind of surprised about was that we're not doing so poorly on fame. Part of that is that we did just have like an outrageously good early game with Bantu, and if you have a really powerful and good early game, then it just sets you up to get a bunch of extra widgets, and then with the extra widgets you'll just sort of incidentally collect extra fame, and that's I think not necessarily a problem for humankind, but it is one of those things where like just as we've previously highlighted, I think if you port the system for fame over to Civ 4 without really making any adjustments, then you're not actually, I don't think you're really changing the game that much. At least not in my observation and opinion. All right, sweet. These guys are dumb. They're coming out to attack us from underneath the fog. Like, do you know my dad works for Nintendo? Like, get out of here. Thanks for the military star, Free City, I guess. So we could even potentially flip right now, honestly. And that might be correct. Let's finish queuing up some things here, but if we don't have any terrace farms that are taking more than one turn to build, then I think we can do that, honestly. I don't think I see anything that looks like it's going to be struggling otherwise. We could also use Nemosos. No, none of these cities have like a ton of extra stability to play around with. Yeah, alright. None of them really have like a ridiculous amount of stability to play around with. Bruno, is there any way for you to change this so that way I can make it stop wanting to build over this? Like a flag. Do not overwrite existing districts without my permission. Sin ekder gamat. How can I learn how to speak the language of Lilu? That's what I want to know. Let's see. We can get a little more extra scaling here. That's fine. One thing that I do feel like the game is not currently like giving me reasons to care about, but I know that I should be caring about, are like stealth agents and colonies and stuff. So that's why I'm like really looking forward to playing with the multiplayer guys. Because it does sound like there are just enormous parts of the game that like the AI doesn't really understand how to use, which means that I kind of really also don't understand how to use, because the game is not giving me enough reasons to want to experiment with these things at the moment. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or like I want a box that I can check that tells the AI to stop doing that. So that way, like a random person at home can do the same thing. Like, I understand intellectually that probably there are situations where that is correct to do, especially in regards to things like overriding a hamlet so that you can build another hamlet so that you can just like, you know, the blob all over the place. I can see very clearly how there would be situations where you'd want to do that, but I think that having that as an option for a newer player would be really healthy. I think it would stress younger players out a lot less. That's out of your league. All right, yeah, I'll do the same thing where I'll put like feedback chapters here in these streams, so that way at some point whenever Amplitude has time to look back at Humankind 1 content for whatever reason, that they'll go, oh god, all of these chapters are just UI feedback part 9. Why is this even on YouTube? Just send us an email. Oh, right. We're gonna change. I think we should change cultures. So here's the thing. We are playing vanilla. I want to experiment with these things that I do not understand how to use, but I generically feel like I trust Bruno's application and interpretation of the numbers better than vanilla's. Because some of these things are just kind of like, I don't know how I'm supposed to not take this. I play around with some of the other ones. Like, I could even see an argument for French, but like where our economy currently is typically is where my economy ends up most of the time, no matter what I'm doing, where like I want to get to space race, and I find that like 90% of the time one of the easiest routes to get to space race is to go through an industrial in the industrial era, and then a scientist in the Mexican, or in the final era, and then a scientist in the Mexican era, a scientist in the final era, because it just like lines up well with like most of what the economies tend to be doing. I think Siamese you can also make a really good argument for in the event that you've produced a lot of districts. We have produced some, but not a bazillion. They patched Fusion Rush. Yeah, I could see that too. Anything that gets you access to extra fame is very powerful. And one of the nice things is that if you do take an industrial science culture, then you can start hitting things like where is it? The nuke. Nuclear fusion or nuclear fission. If you hit this, then you can access the nuclear weapon civic, and then just don't use nuke weapons, and you get like an enormous fame bonus. And then that can help you like use your economic snowball to generate fame even faster in the late game. Yeah, 50% production. Like it's a really powerful strat to do that when it is available, but it sounds like it is not. But I don't really care. Like, this is pretty close to what we ended up doing in post-mortem. Oh, they're going straight to fusion? I mean, that's cool too, but I feel like generically the thing that I'd be most excited about for taking French is being able to fix the late game victory condition problem, which is, you know, you don't want to fall behind militarily, and if you're not able to research the late game techs because you're not in if you're not in an economy that is the right culture era, you just can't research those late game techs, and this will see those late game techs, help you get there, help you get the value of leveraging your snowball faster. But we're gonna take Persians. Like, it's really hard not to right now in this current economic setup. And then there's just ways to rebalance the game to make things less favorable to them.
And yet, the world gets smaller as bridges unite land.
Bruno says that back then there were no prerequisites for the Research Institute techs. You just pick French, get Research Institute Fusion Fission at the start of Euro 5, and roll your 50% extra industry. Yeah, that sounds ridiculously broken. It's ridiculously broken. Alright, so here we are with our industrial era Persians, and we should be able to do some building and stuff. I think, given our current cash economy, I'm not gonna worry about detaching this and then like merging Depata immediately. I think we can get there on Depata in, you know, like 5, 10, 15 turns and still have plenty of time to get value out of the extra food, because it's not like we need extra pop growth right now that bad anyway. I think we're doing alright on that. You know, heal you so that we don't have to buyrush anything, but I think otherwise looks like Phaistos is about to fall. Guess we could take... could take supply lines, but honestly, humanism is just like a lot more important. We do need military architecture, otherwise we are going to start having some severe issues in regards to our influence income, because we'll be 3 over, at which point we're going to have like minus, what, like 900 or something like that from influence on city cap. So maybe we do architecture into humanism, and then we just save up cash for merging Phaistos into Nock or Nemosos. Which one of you looks more likely to not explode from instability problems? I mean, I guess Nemosos is a little smaller right now in terms of real growth. This is another thing that freaks me out, Bruno. I don't know if this is fixable or not, but the fact that like we had extra jobs, they came on at the same time as the pops, so I could understand how they didn't necessarily auto shuffle to the jobs. But like if that's structured in the right order, where it grows the jobs first and then the pops, then the pops will be like automatically assigned to where I think they should be going. I think that's important in terms of like just generic things that are good for generic players. Generic things that are good for generic players. That's the name of the stream also. That's the sub game. How many different goofball names for things can we come up with? Oh no, actually we didn't get wiped out by city cap overage. Whatever. We'll just float on as many over city cap as we can, and while we're fixing this stuff up, and we'll take humanism in the meantime, and then we'll come back for architecture. Humanism in 4 turns is pretty slow, but like I said, don't worry too much about exact this is the benchmark that you must go for. It changes a lot. To get good at French, you need to assemble a single industry city in the 4th era and have good trade with the entire map. Okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense. I assume then what you're doing with French is that you, on that single industry city, you click the like converter button, get 1 billion science immediately, and then just go to town. That sounds pretty good, honestly. Maybe I'll try that on our... We're gonna do more vanilla runs. Like, we will be doing more VIP than vanilla. But generically, I think we're going to need to do at least 1 or 2 more vanilla runs here on the channel. And in one of them, I will attempt to do the Umayyad into Spain thing, Croadilla, because that sounds really cool. And then I guess I'm going to try to do France too, because that also sounds like it's fun and not necessarily something that I've done a lot with. But most of what we're going to be doing is going to be playing VIP. I really cannot help myself. It is where I am. It's where my emotions are. It's where my soul is. If you're angry about that, send angry letters to Bruno. It's his fault. Whatever. We have like basically no non-state religion followers, so we're not really going to be getting a bunch out of that, but we'll get something. And one of the reasons why we want to work... God damn it. One of the reasons that we wanted to work on boats was so that we could trade with more people, Walker, but I guess this will be close enough. Trade with me. Be my friend. Yeah. Alright, so let's see. We could pick up some lead. We don't have any lead yet, or any silver. So yeah, let's grab those.
The word is you're a force for good in the world.
Anything that gets us a new diversification effect is really good, and if we can get enough of those little trades set up, then we should be able to leverage humanism a little bit easier. Hey, look at that. That was, yep, now we're down to 3 turns on humanism. Cool. You are trading way more tea to us than you have. I don't know how that's possible. I want to play with Han again also, because the fact that paper gets you 10 science per paper when it's collected means that, like, I don't know. I kind of feel like I feel like I did not play Han particularly well. I did not play that game particularly well, but I feel like Han in particular, I don't know if I've eliminated as a reasonable possibility for getting good value, because I feel like there was big chunks of that economy that I was not really interacting with. So I want to try them out again and see how they do. Caravanserai, that looks okay. Yeah, that looks alright. We're just gonna build a bunch of quarters, or emblematic quarters. They're really good. Let's see, where is our dude? Our dude is one of you is collecting actual points, and then one of you, I guess, is just kind of like collecting tiny amounts of influence by wandering around in Enemy territory? Nah, go over there. Go exploring, envoy guy. See what this continent has to offer us. Hopefully there are 3 continents. I think I set it to 3 to 5. But if there are more than 3, then some of those continents are going to be ridiculously small. And that's also kind of like, how do you interpret this data? Because none of the charts mean anything, because I just managed to be on a continent that was bigger than some of the other players. But that is a constant 4x problem, unfortunately. It's just the nature of the thing. Alright, we're not doing that. Stop recommending that we do that. I'll give you a candy if you stop recommending that we do that. There. Yeah, let's get some more production scaling, some more jobs. Getting any extra jobs here at all will be helpful. To just absorb what is about to start happening around here. I guess that's actually a crap ton of stability there. Good for you. Good for you, guy. Let's see. Well, another thing, Crodilla, that I know I'm not using, that I don't know how you guys interact with in multiplayer, or even if you get value from it in multiplayer, is like making the colonists to grab a tile and then merge the cities together to get the infrastructure that isn't worth building. That feels like it's something that has to be worth doing sometimes, but like, I don't know when I am supposed to want to do it, because it doesn't feel like it's as impactful as it could be, because most of the infrastructure that is not worth building is, you know, infrastructure that is not worth building, and so I'm not as like thrilled and pumped to be getting it as I could be. I guess actually we could just let's get humanism first, and then we'll turn one of these guys into a land raiser, because getting humanism online is pretty important, both for your stability as well as for just like generic economic scaling. I think we're also going to need to make a couple more units down here, both because apparently if I do not do that in multiplayer, I will die horrifically, and because I do want some guys to go out here and secure some of the competitive tiles out here. So I guess we could just crank a couple out right now, right? Could make them horsey boys, or we could make a couple of Sapa Inca guards. Whatever, make a couple of Sapas. We have the pops. They're definitely slower, but they're cool. They're cool, and I want to use them. So done. Logicked. And we do also have like way more than enough pops to burn off some on expensive guys like this, but 3 pop units are really, really, really costly. Always be aware of that. Yeah, I think this is fine. When we pick up Depata, we'll have 1 billion pops to fill in all of these extra jobs, and we should have enough food that I don't think it's going to be an issue. So yeah, that looks alright. I don't see anything important for this envoy to be doing right now, so I guess we'll just hang out. Just wander around. Wander around in Purple's backyard. We'll figure out what you're supposed to be doing soon. And we could even potentially chop here. Crodilla, do you know if, like, when you chop on a tile and then flip to a different era, does it actually update the amount of production that you get, or does it just stay at the production that you generated for like the old numbers? Because it increases for every like rank that you're at, right? Get out of here. Give me more points. Militarist stars. Yum yum yum. I love the militarist star. I could be playing more militarist cultures. That could be actually hypothetically correct if I were trying to get the most value there out of those guys, but I just like, you get points from doing stuff. You don't need to get the absolute most points. You just need to have the most points at the end of the game. And that means that, like, some of those parts of the game really are just bonuses rather than things that I'm focusing down. I mean, that won't be an atrociously bad Commons Quarter. It'll get us 10. But we'll get a million. We'll get a million stability once we hit humanism. So I guess I shouldn't really worry about it. Yeah, I shouldn't really worry about it. Let's see. Yeah, you go here. Go here. So it's plenty of really quick industry scaling at least. And then hopefully we can actually get some money stars out of building all of these guys. The money star and the estate star, just like generically, I don't really care that much about getting, because this is something where you have to get like a bunch of passive income on that object in order to score it. And like, you can do that, but this is a 4x, and generically passive incomes are not as important as people like to make them out to be. You really want active incomes whenever they're available, if they're good. You build all the necessary districts in 1 to 3, then you deal with infrastructure inside the city. If you, Crodilla, I wasn't talking about like raw building these. I was talking about let me find one to talk about. Like 3-masted ship, it gives you access to settler, right? And so you can raw build a bunch of infrastructure, but you can also just like build a settler, found a colony, then merge that colony into the city. And then that, instead of being forced to raw build infrastructure, you just kind of like build it with a settler instead. I'm not doing that because honestly, I don't really understand when I should be wanting to do that. And so I'd rather like learn that sort of organically and then figure out where I was missing out on good value. Actually, this will be pretty good because then we can jam another commons quarter in there for boosting. But like, I don't really understand when I'm supposed to be doing that realistically most of the time, because I just don't think that some of this infrastructure is like some of this infrastructure is absolutely worth building, and I should have built a little while ago. But some of this infrastructure is like borderline nonsense, and I don't know if that's worth even taking steps to do. He only builds until the Middle Ages. Yeah, exactly. Like the good one is at the end of the game. So are you using the good one to build infrastructure that way? Because that I could believe. If you're just using the late game one to build a bunch of infrastructure in your cities, that sounds pretty good to me. That is my operating theory on how I am supposed to conceptualize maybe using that object. That is my current guess. This is gonna be a buttload of stuff. I like getting a buttload of stuff. Yeah, that looks alright. We did not get humanism yet, but we can potentially grab Topkapa here. And if we're trying, I mean, if we were fighting brutally for fame, then I would definitely want Topkapa to get that. But given where we are, I'm not even super worried about our fame at the moment. It would make building like the shared projects a lot easier, and that seems pretty important. I do also like Brussels if we are like really far behind on fame. But we're also kind of like ahead enough on eras that probably the AI isn't going to attack us for Topkapa, which means it might be better for us to just take Eiffel first. That'd be like plus 100 something production because of how many pops we have. Yeah, it's probably better to take Topkapa. All right, let's actually conquer Kirtan first, so that way we can see, do we actually have enough influence to do that, or do we need the influence to pay off the like massive amount of negative influence that we may end up being at with 4 over here. No, we're still fine. All right, cool. Yeah, and then we'll get military architecture after humanism, and then we can merge some stuff. Yeah, that looks all right. So in that case, I am gonna take Topkapa here. Oh, cool. And we got our next tenant here. So generically, I really like issue gluttony just if I'm waging war against people, but we already successfully defeated the AI for I like basically control over the continent. Not total control over the continent, but basically control over the continent. So now we really only have like, do we want to get a little bit of extra gold or maybe some main plaza production? It's not a ridiculous amount of production, but it's something. Oh, I have to select a new religion. Wait a second. But I already picked Islam last time. Why is it doing this? I did this last time. Watch the stream. I said, wait. Maybe I just interacted with the UI incorrectly. But I clicked on this thing because we were playing as Swahili. But, I mean, we're still playing as Persian, so I guess this still makes sense. Do I have to, like, ship it with this selected here? I think that might be what I have to do. We also, I guess, could just have a buttload of extra influence because we do have a reasonable number of commons quarters. I want to play on VIP. None of these buttons excite me. They're all here, but the button that I wanted to get, which we did get, was abstain, and now the rest of these are just sort of like also participants. I don't think we're gonna take a commons quarter tier 5 guy. I think we're gonna take some kind of scientist guy, so I'm just gonna take purge idleness. I don't think this is particularly busted, but it'll give us a little bit of extra scaling, and that's fine. All right, good. Islam Patel, we did it. We successfully clicked the thing for Bruno's little madness. Perfect. And now we can pick up that tile. That'll be good because that gets us oil, which if we did not get oil, I understand that is a colossal problem in the mid and late game that I've actually experienced a little bit of myself. So I'm okay seeing some of this. And then we'll also, I guess, grab one of these bad boys. Yeah, we'll grab this as another tile out here. And as long as we can get all of this continent, we'll get the fame for that and having explored the entire continent, at which point I feel like I'd be very, very, very surprised if the AI could beat us. The vanilla AI experience has got to be frustrating for the AI. It really has to be, because like all the rules are designed to trick the AI. Or not all. Some of the rules feel very deliberately designed to trick the AI. An event exclusive for that religion? Oh. Well, I don't know. Are they remotely balanced, or are they insanely broken? I mean, if they're like a minor bonus, then I think that's cute. I think if there's like a little minor event that adds a little bit of flavor and a little texture to each religion, I think that's genuinely good. Because I think that giving a little bit more flavor to the game is always something that I'm in favor of. But if it's something where it's like grotesquely broken, where one of these things is supremely optimal, and if you're not playing it, then that's dumb, then I suspect that has to be something that you fixed in VIP. Do not explore new ships for transport since you lose the possibility of jumping onto the shore. Okay, yeah, I mean, right now my near term priority, Croydilla, is to just like get the things that get me the fame. And if the AI is not pressuring me on the ocean, then I'm okay just like vibing on those. I'm not super worried about because like the only thing that I usually get a bunch of points off of in regards to a fleet is if I can engage an army on the field, blow it up, or circumnavigate the world. That's still points, but it's not the single most important source of points. All right, so if we're going to be using this city, which city are we going to be using to do? I guess we could use Nemosos maybe as a city for switching all of our industry into science whenever we get to that spot. At which point I guess we should probably click Landraiser now anyway. Yeah, we'll do Landraiser here. And then we'll want to probably switch around a couple of tiles to make sure that it's a little more, little stronger next turn, I guess. Yeah, next turn is, I think, we're going to want to do it. Like, we'll drop this, use Nook to pick up this instead. Maybe we even do that this turn? Do we want to do that this turn? Nah, we'll do it next turn. Go away, pop-up telling me to delete powerful things. I'm not doing that. You can't trick me. I am my own man. Ridiculous. Overwrite your own districts. Burn off all of your production. You'll love it. It's really good for you. I think that's fine. One place for flame, fame, and the other place for victory. Yeah, like you're not. I don't think you're trying to maximize your fame. I think you're trying to have the most fame at the end of the game, and it's like a timing attack on the global clock. So like you do not want to have a billion fame. You just want to have just enough that when the game ends, that you have the most of it. And the way that you get there in single player, in my experience at least, is like trying to make a concerted drive at the very end of the game towards rocket ships, but balancing that against the input costs where you also have to, like, you do have to have the most fame, and there are a couple of sources for catching up on it in case you're behind. It doesn't look like that's where we're going to be, so I think the majority of what we're going to do with the remainder of the stream is just try to like get 2 ships and then get off the planet, and then like share with all of you, I guess, like a little bit of analysis on the chart pages, because I do think that they're worth looking at, even if they do have issues with communication. Where like I think there are some issues in regards to the things that the game suggests are going on, because some of the charts really don't make sense unless you just remember that, like, okay, the AI is not building any cities at all, and that's where all of these graphs are coming from, and that's the way it is. I guess we could just keep building hamlets. It's okay. Yeah, that's fine. And brown could continue to trade with brown, but I think we really do want to have a bunch of cash for merging, like as soon as we hit military architecture, which hopefully will be in a turn or two. Let's find out. Hey, 1 turn. All right, cool. So yeah, we'll grab architecture. We'll do some merging. That will fix up hopefully this middle part of the map here, where we don't have 400 cities with 1 tile each. Thank you, Free Cities, for your service. Thank you for joining the Empire. Thank you for growing the thing when we asked you to grow the thing. But now I think that time is done. Maybe we just buy out this caravanserai and then build a Topkapi Palace. Like, I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then if there's, we can pick up, I guess, the... As soon as we've merged some of these things away and recovered our influence economy, then we can start picking up like Eiffel Tower and stuff again. But for now, I guess I'm gonna see if we can get Topkapi down to 2, because I think we can.
One thing. Be wary of crossing me or my subjects.
Sure, I guess.
Welfare is my own.
Are you serious? Are you still in Era 2? Oh boy, buddy. It's turn 55. Turn 55. Sure, humanitarian aid, why not? I feel bad for you, so we will offer that to you, Black, and then also I guess we'll see if you want to trade luxuries, because those are generally what I'm here for. Yeah, alright, so we get a gemstone, get a new... Oh, we already had gemstone. Okay, we don't have ebony. Yes, we don't have ebony. It looks like we don't have coffee. Don't see coffee. This UI, I wish were just like a little bit cleaner, where it would actually like highlight whether or not you have this this object or not. Like if it were colored in green or colored in red or whatever is correct from a colorblind accessibility standpoint, because I honestly do not think about that like ever, and that is a problem that is my own. There is no reason to replicate Walker's mistakes. You can iterate and improve upon them. It will almost certainly produce better results for you, but I'm sure that there is a way to create a UI that communicates just a little smoother there. It is, but I want to see how much cash I have for military architecture merging, and then buy everything for the cumulative effect afterwards. Because I don't want to have not enough cash to get rid of some of these stupid cities that I don't care about. Because we're gonna have more stupid cities that I don't care about in a pretty short period of time here. So once we clean up all of these guys, like once we clean up all of these cities that we currently have, then I want to finish buying everything else out. But it might legit cost me like 4,000 or 5,000 gold to do the things that I want to do, and I think they're worth doing. I'm pretty sure they're worth doing. It sure seems like they'll be worth doing. All right, yeah, you go back home, and I guess we are on 2 turns for Topkapi, but we also don't currently have any manufactories being built, and we also do not currently have the influence to detach and merge, or to detach at a manufactory and then attach back. I guess that's only cash here, isn't it? Yeah, but it costs a bunch of influence to build the stuff in the. Costs a bunch of influence to build the stuff in the outpost. So we can't really do that either here. Let's find some manufactories though. So we're going to need 8 salt in order to do that. We currently have 5, so we should trade for any more salt. There's 2 there. And do you have any? Do you have any more? 3. No, so we can't actually hit the salt requirement without conquering a little more here. That's okay. We don't have gemstones. We don't have papyrus currently, but we are at 7, and we need 6. So yeah, all right, we just need 1 more papyrus, and then we can build the papyrus manufactory. That's worth doing. You don't have it either, you jerk. None of these guys have the thing that we want. Fine AI. If you make us get the thing that makes it easier to do this, where is it? We need companies. We need chartered companies. We'll get chartered companies, I guess, soon after this. So that way we can actually do the humanism thing. Do the humanism thing, get the humanism stuff. It's usually pretty good. Alright, so there's a little science. We're already on 2 for that, so I'm not super worried there. We are going to start running out of jobs here, so I guess I'll build another hamlet. And I don't know if I care about getting our stability turbo maxed out, but I don't know, man. Like, we're gonna have so many jobs pretty quickly, or so many pops pretty quickly, that we're going to need to look for something for them to do. Fine, it's 150 production. It's not that much. I'm not that embarrassed to do that. We'll go here, and then we might even start pumping out some research quarters, honestly, in Dapata. Because this city is going to disappear in very short order anyway. What am I doing? That city's going to disappear in very short order anyway. Why are you building those? Why are you building those? I guess we'll get you. There's like basically this is what we identified at the very beginning. There's like basically no real raw resources here for us to poach off of. Maybe I shouldn't have taken humanism first. I don't know. Could have been correct. That's gonna be enough that it'll cause a little bit of stability issues, but we can plop in aqueducts to fix that up. That's fine. Hamlet, I guess, is okay. Yeah, Hamlet is okay. And then you, and I guess we'll want to let those come down, and then we'll see where the commons quarter is actually like least offensive. Yeah, that seems okay. Do we want to get a little more jobs here? Yeah, I think we do want to get a few more jobs here. And I guess we could get 2 little research quarters jammed in this corner of the map. And I'm probably want to build that first because of the way those. I'm pretty sure that the infrastructure jobs count towards the cost of those objects. Don't think that's super important here. We could work on a little more stability, but I think this is just make stuff in this city, and then we'll figure out the rest of it later. Building things is usually pretty good. Yeah, that looks okay. Architecture done. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna be really like literally right back, so that we can do this. But I gotta empty the coffee. Let's put this cash to work and do some redesigning on these cities. So we don't want Unur, don't want Tupi. Depata is going to. Oh, I can't detach because of the hostile enemy. Well, we can fix that. We can get rid of that hostile enemy, and then we can do the economic planning that we wanted to do. So. You did this to yourself, Free City. You really have no one to blame other than Bruno. You're the one responsible for this, Bruno. Can we wipe that out without losses here? Maybe. One greatsword. All right, deal. Not a problem. So now we should be able to. Oh, god damn it! Now we still can't do this because these stupid mercs out here. Shoot. We're gonna massacre just enormous number of independent people in really unnecessary fashion. Oh, wait, why are you letting me do this? I don't know why you're letting me do this, game. Sometimes your feedback systems confuse and horrify even me, but I guess I can't be that mad because this is gonna work out pretty well for us, I think. So we're gonna attach Tupi. Then we're going to absorb Depata. Do we have artificial reservoirs already built here? We do have artificial reservoirs already built here. So this was just 127 wasted production. Good job, Walker. You did it. I'm so proud of you. Boom. All right. So now we have like a really grotesque, bizarre looking city here as our capital. But that's where I am. Grotesque, bizarre looking capitals are my fetish. So let's grab this. And I guess we actually even have enough stability here in Macumba to make this even more bizarre looking and just keep going north. So no reason not to do that. Gets us more pops to work with. And this, I don't know about these two. These two we're gonna have to figure out when and where we do something with them. And there are probably 2 more cities up here is my guess. Which means maybe we detach this. And then we go here. And then maybe we even detach this. And go here. Now we're just trying to get as many of these tiles like worked as possible, using whatever limited access to stability that we have until we can get humanism like literally rolled out. But I think this will be all right. Hey, an expansionist star. Great. Welcome to the party. And, oh, great. Fixing the stability in the city is also going to be ridiculously easy because we haven't even built a public fountain in it yet. Perfect, Walker. Just how we drew it up. I guess, can we do the same thing here? You have a little bit of extra stability to spend. 60%, 40, 35. Yeah, we could attach a 5 cost here, a 5 pop. That's fine. It's a lot of pops. But we'll figure it out. It's a lot of pops, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, there we go. Now I guess we'll see if we want to merge another city with Phaistos and Kirtan. If we merge them next turn, I think that makes sense. And this costs 1,200 to do it. So yeah, we can spend basically all of our bank trading here.
You come to talk?
Because we
I
have
will listen.
the cash income to clear basically all of that out. And what Croydell is saying there is that there's something called the diversification effect, which is like the stronger thing that you get off of each individual thing, which is going to give you that stability and then the main bonus. But then there is a cumulative effect where the more of them that you have, the more resources that you get out of it. I mean, not a bunch, Bruno. So far, all you've really missed is that we did successfully execute the absorption of that city Tapata out there into our main cap, Topkapa, and so now our main cap is going to finally start needing some stability. But I guess we have the stability to get here. So let's go here and there. We did it. We have a 58 size capital. I'll be curious to see what size capital the AI has, but this is sort of like exactly what I expect on vanilla right now on the Dante patch. When we see the charts at the end of the game, I think we will see that the results are extremely similar to the results from postmortem. Kind of, yes, we are taking similar things at the end of the game, but they also just, I don't think the AI was prepared for all of the food requirements, and I don't think it was updated for all of the food requirements. So the AI seems to mostly just be burning off all of its growth on doing stuff rather than growing. Which is the main reason why I'm going to feel compelled to play on VIP, so that way I die a lot. I want to die a lot. It'll be fun to do a couple of streams every once in a while learning about like how the different things work in vanilla, but I do not think that the AI is currently prepared for the current systems that exist in humankind, and that frustrates me because I want the AI to teach people how to play this game. This game is incredible. If the AI is not going to do it, then we just need a much better tutorial. And that's true of effectively every 4X that has ever existed in the history of humanity. You just need a better tutorial. Legit, are we really going to flip in straight 5 turns? I might want to hold on to get at least that build element done. But we are capable of flipping in now, so maybe we do. It's also getting access to like the final game stuff is pretty good. In terms of scaling you out, if you can build and research the true late game technologies, that's usually pretty good for you. We have a need for jobs here. Yes, we have a need for jobs here. A desperate, hungry need for jobs. An all-encompassing need for jobs. And especially science jobs, so we can get to urban planning is where we get the infinite number of jobs, but where is our chartered companies? Yeah, let's get chartered companies now. Because we're already working on humanism things, we might as well finish it off. We could take gunpowder warfare. I feel pretty confident in multiplayer. I should be taking gunpowder warfare for the purposes of arquebusiers. Otherwise, I'd probably die here. But I do not currently feel like the AI is going to attempt to do that. That would surprise me, and I wouldn't even say frustrate me. That would surprise me in beautiful ways if the AI suddenly turned around and killed me for not researching arquebusiers right here, but I don't think they will. I don't think that's what's happening in this game. Yeah, I'm gonna wait at least one more turn, and then we'll probably end up flipping into New Zealanders here because we do already have the Swahili, but I feel like I've used all 3 of these under different circumstances. I feel like generically, because of the minus 20% tech cost on the tree here for Japanese, that this just like does a lot for you in terms of shaving off costs, like probably more ultimately in terms of real research points than the rest of these. But these other two are also just like pretty obviously specialized in particular elements, like Sailing Club giving us ways to spend a bunch of influence to immediately create a bunch of high quality harbors is very strong. And then the Swedes obviously have access to the bonus on per district on all cities is a bunch of stuff. I should try Indians once when doing a religious district run. Where are you? Oh, did you rebalance this in at all in VIP? Like, I could maybe see this if I were doing pure religious district LTs, but like this is only on religious district +1 science versus the Swedes getting +1 on like all districts, right? +1 science per district on all cities is going to scale your science a lot faster. You nerfed the LT. Did you buff anything else? Because I have no idea how you're supposed to want to take an estate culture in the late game in Humankind, because that just seems like it's like divorced from the reality of the mechanics of the game. So I guess if you are able to build a bunch in the same city, then I guess I could see how that could be good, right? Because I assume that these see each other, right? So if you have like 3 different tiles on a city and you build 3 different ashrams, they all see each other once, but then they also all see all of the other religious districts 3 times because there are 3 of them. If that's true, I could see it. And in fact, if that is true, then I kind of want to see it. But that feels more like a VIP thing. Because I just like, I don't think you really need to do that in vanilla. I seriously doubt it. Yeah, I'm gonna pass with this, and then we'll probably try to flip into Japanese next turn. I don't know. Should we flip into Japanese? Here, actually, let me. I'm gonna put this in a poll. Here. We're gonna do. How do I do this? I gotta remember how to do polls for the charity stream. Let's see. Come on. Why are you not letting me edit this? All right. Science. Add option. I'm not doing yes, no. Japan. Oh, no, I'm gonna do as Japana and then Swede and Kiwis. Done. Create a poll and start poll. You have until the end of this turn, everybody. You have to vote on where we're going for the late game while we dick around for the next 300 turns clicking on stuff. Yeah, okay, I can see that, Bruno. While we I do want to see that in practice. I just generically feel like I trust the numerical balance of VIP so much more that I want to do those sorts of experimentations there just to see how it turns out. I think that'd be more fun, to be entirely honest. So let's see. Let's do one more caravan. Can we do it in one turn if we go here? Yeah, we can do it one turn if we go there. That seems all right. That's what we're gonna try to get whatever we can in one turn with the Persians before flipping out, and then we'll see if we can just like get a billion science. I think we can get a lot of science. I don't know about a billion science, but we can definitely get a lot. Yeah, we'll go here. We have enough cash for doing healing, so I don't think there's any reason not to. And honestly, there's Neapolis right here. Like, might as well. If there's a city right nearby, you might as well take it. Like, otherwise that city might fall into the wrong hands, right? Yeah, that's it. We're doing this for you, Scythian Neapolis. You'll appreciate it more later. Maybe we even merge this. Yeah, you know what? Let's just merge this immediately. That's fine. We could have potentially built some like buyrush to that first here. Probably would have been better, but we're gonna finish it the same turn we flip out anyway, so it's fine. There's the Bulgarians. I don't know about that. I'm not gonna have the ability to continue exploring once we flip because we won't be expansionist. We're not expansionist, Walker. You forgot that we left we left the Inca before we built any Inca guards. You're just saying stuff. All right, let's build a caravan. Can we build a second one before we leave? No. But that is 1 billion gold if we can get it down. It's just a full turn in order to buyrush that though. Hey, what's up, Four-Way? Yeah, we're about to flip into the final era here, so secure your votes. But it looks like right now Kiwi and New Zealand are like way ahead, so we're probably gonna be playing that here for just like finishing out this neat little run, and then we will see where we are. I think we're probably going to be able to do. I don't think we're gonna be able to do another like full stream this week, so we might just do like a practice stream or something like that on Thursday. We're gonna be doing some amount of multiplayer. I'm hoping we're gonna be able to fire the actual game that we have queued up with Crowdilla on Saturday. I don't know if I'm gonna stream it or not because it does kind of depend on how many people we have. Because if we can't get enough people, then I like something that Crowdilla has suggested, which I think is genuinely a really good idea, is for us to have like a conversation and like talk through all of the weird exploits that exist in the game, and turn that into a video, because I think that's another thing that could potentially be useful for Amplitude, and that's kind of like where the content is going to be while I am learning the game. Are like this is a thing that I think will probably be useful to Amplitude. Let's get it out there, see if they agree, and then make adjustments from there. But that is the kind of content that we'll be primarily making initially. Okay, so we can still build a caravansary, and an aqueduct in the same turn. Great. All right, yeah, perfect. All right, so it looks like the timer has been executed, and we are playing as New Zealand here in the late game. And I think we got the setup to do a bunch of random stuff with them, so I think it'll be pretty good. We're gonna need to find probably a little more coast, but that shouldn't be too difficult.
And ingenious at turning every single human invention to its most violent end.
Yes. Oh my god, look, the video even tells you to go to space.
Looking forward to a future which, with luck, will be counted in millennia, not in months.
Man, I gotta tell you, the music in this, in every Amplitude game is so absurd that it confuses me. It's so good. I am Omega pumped for EL2 for that. This is another thing that I'm Omega pumped for. Eventually, we are supposed to be getting updates on these, and that's pretty good. I like that. I want more stuff that's good. I want things that give you a founder advantage. That's pretty good. Because the way it works right now, you mostly just kind of like follow the leader. Whoever gets abstain intoxicants, I'm pretty sure you're just supposed to convert to that religion and just do whatever. Yeah, I want to like legit. I don't know how to do this, but I want to like strip the audio from the amplifier stream where they had him play the 2 songs from EL2, and then just like put in the like minimalist Philip Glass, like just Arnaud and that one other dude, and use that as the intro for EL2 for me, because that performance haunts me in ways that I hope video games haunt everybody else. Like that video is inspirational.
This proposal respects.
Bro, I mean, if you want to copy my homework, Pink, they're 6 stars in Era 2 on turn 58. I hope that someone declared war on you and ate a lot of your empire, because then at least I can understand what's happening with you. But if you were here on your own for, like, failed scaling purposes, Pink, then I don't know, man. I don't know. You doing what are you on now, Brown? Don't be a dick.
I think only of my people. Remember that.
I guess we could pick up more stuff. Yeah, let's grab all these guys, and then
It was not love or hate.
purple is who we were trying to eat, so it's not really worth it for us to try to trade with them. And Ghanaians. I guess we could pick up the rest of Ghana's stuff, because we're gonna have chartered companies in 2 turns, and I want to just get as many of the manufactories done as we can whenever we can get them done. Alright, so we did it. We flipped into New Zealand. That means we get to detach a bunch of territories and reattach a bunch of territories yet again. But I think that'll be worth it, because I think we're going to have enough influence to get good value here. Wait, why is this not letting me build a polar? Is it only on polar? Is it only on polar things here? No. It will let me build it here. Why wouldn't it let me build it there? Can you not build this with influence anymore? Bruno, can you not build sailing clubs with influence? I guess let's find out. Yeah, it doesn't seem like you can build polar or the sailing clubs with influence. All right. Well, that's a bummer, but whatever. It cost us nothing to detach it. At least that's what Inca does. It lets you experiment with things in irresponsible ways. Thank you, Inca. It doesn't seem like you can, because, like, none of these are letting me do it. But, like, whatever, I guess. Yeah, whatever, I guess. Like, it is what it is. We will still build a bunch of random stuff, and I think it'll be fine. We're going to need to conquer purple to get the most out of this, but that's something that I've been emotionally prepared for a very long time. Something I've been not dreading but excited for at least 2 days. Yeah, let's go here. And I guess it looks like Tiwanaku does not really have a giant army to resist us either. It's just a couple of swordsmen and archers, plus some guys. Yeah, alright. I don't think we need to wait for siege weapons for this fight. The instant resolve agrees. Alright, sweet. So now we have 9 out of 5. We can potentially even float on those 9 while we prep for attacking purple, so we can send, like, maybe this stack we just break up and just send out here to grab all of these tiles, and then these other 2 we start sending south. We're gonna want more troops to knock purple out, but we don't really need to conquer the entire world. We are past that point, I think. Alright, so we could take compatibilism, which would keep us floating here and get us extra science. We have a bunch of extra influence, and we apparently cannot spend influence on building the emblematic quarter here, so I think that's worth doing. And then I think we're going to want to queue some stuff, because I think that there's going to be some options for that in regards to getting value here. Oh. Like, you generally, I don't like queuing things most of the time in most 4Xs, because in most 4Xs, like, you can't actually finish multiple things at a time, like production things at a time. It does depend a lot on the 4X, so there are different games where I'm more inclined to want to queue things, and then other ones where I'm less inclined to want to queue things. And I would say Humankind is on the side of I tend to want to queue more than I actually do, and I think that's a good thing primarily. I like being encouraged to do things that ultimately I think are probably good at reducing the insanity of the viewer at home. Sailing Club, I guess we're getting literal millions of influence by building these, so No reason not to, or stability by building those. And then we will regret not having slightly more industry, so that way we could scale our actual growth a little faster, but that's okay. I think Mukenge having just like literal infinity stability will let us grab just an unhinged number of tiles here, so that way we can have an unreasonable amount of food production in the city and then an unreasonable number of pops in our other cities. And the more unreasonable we can be, the better. That's just generically true. It's not always true, but I think it is generically true. Alright, so we can build... I guess we can build some cash or some industry. Let's build some industry here. You're going to have plenty of jobs here pretty quickly. Let's build that. Guess we could even just build all stacks here, because we're going to have some infrastructure that'll actually let you turn that into valuable stuff pretty soon, won't we? Yeah, we will. I suppose we could also just build a little bit of food, like food infrastructure, if it's high efficiency. Oh, no, we're not overwriting these. Stop it. Stop trying to trick people with your overwriting things. I'm going to tell people about this. Someone will hold you responsible, finally, Joker. Oh my god, we really are gonna have... We're gonna have so much stability here that it's gonna be kind of pointless, but that's okay. That's fine. If we have way too much stability, then we can keep merging and attaching stuff, and I think that's a good place to be. We can even build more hamlets. I didn't, but I don't know if that matters, like outside of like being able to overwrite hamlets, which feels kind of cheesy, to be honest. Like most of the time you're probably not going to want to do that just because of the actual costs associated with things. Stop giving the jobs to farmers. I put farmers at the bottom of the expert policy slot. I expect you to not make farmers. I don't think that's unreasonable. I think that's what I told you to do, game. Stop making things that we're not using. Listen to me, your secret autocrat. That's one thing that I like about Victoria 3 that I feel like I'd love to see in more 4Xs. I don't know how they're going to include it in more 4Xs, but like the game's systems sort of gradually writing out the player. Like the way that it works in Victoria 3, where like if you build a large enough and functional enough economy, then the economy starts making decisions for you, and in ways where like it's not about reducing the player's inputs, it just shifts the player's like goals on their inputs from like how do I get the most out of what I currently have over to the issue of I've built an economy that I can no longer control. And I think that that's really cool in Victoria 3. I think that's the biggest strength of the game, honestly, and it's something that I wish we could get more of, because that is my favorite part of that game. But I don't know. It seems like they have their own goals, honestly. Over in Victoria 3 land. All right. Yeah, this is a really ridiculous amount of science. This is a really ridiculous amount of science. We could even buyrush the polar base, honestly. I don't hate that. Yeah, whatever. We'll buyrush it. We've got the resources. Now we'll just see if we can pick up. Oh god, we need how much more? We need like just a fraction more science. Oh, we need a fraction more science, Walker, and you're playing as a freaking science culture. How about you click the button that you have, and then you'll have not just a little more science, you'll have a buttload more science. Yeah, quit complaining, Jesus. God, learn how to play this game. Done. All right, cool. So we'll get chartered companies next turn, and then we can get manufactories, and then we can do ridiculous stuff. Yeah, great, excellent. I love doing ridiculous stuff. Boom, chartered companies. How far will we push humankind? All right, Bruno, how far will you push humankind? Because this is something where the way that you rebalanced VIP, I don't think is wrong, but I do think that there are some victory conditions. Like, so what Bruno has done, he's just made sending a mission to Mars a lot more expensive in terms of producing things. But this is the final step of humankind, is that we are now in the full timing attack on the global clock problem. Because we sacrificed early game fame in order to get growth, we kind of like have to end the game before blue is apparently the people who are trying to fight us for victory. I'm not worried about it because we really can get like an absurd amount of fame through competitive things, but you do need to end the game before the fact that you sacrificed fame earlier by not farming stars catches up to you. And I think that that's what makes the game really cool. I honestly think that that is the biggest strength of the game.
We become closer.
No, we will become closer because I'm going to kill and eat you. But that's closer in a different form probably than you wanted. All right, we will grab resource access required. I like that. That's pretty good. And then we will see what sort of manufactories we can build here. Nothing here. But you're going to be like tiny amounts of production off from finishing the sailing club. That's fine. Let's see who else we can build. Oh, we need to make sure that we're absolutely maxed on
warming presence in a cold world.
trade first.
I think only of my people.
I
Remember
think we
that.
probably are, honestly, considering that we haven't met the entire map yet. It's turn 60 and you haven't met the entire map yet, Walker. And you're out here trolling people and like being mean to the AI. I'm definitely telling people about this. All right, send your knight out there to go grab some more tiles. Jesus Christ, this continent is enormous. Well, maybe we finish purple off just at the very end, just for memes at this point, because it doesn't look like we need to attack them in order to keep growing. Yeah, holy crap, this is way too big. I'm gonna go back to playing on normal. I feel like large is just like so many tiles that you don't have to worry about them anymore, and that is also not fun for me. I think that there should be a tension between wide and tall, and the bigger the map is, the more that you can do wide stuff. And Bruno has rebalanced it so that like doing wide stuff is just like generically not as good as it is on vanilla. All right, yeah, let's get gunpowder warfare, and then maybe we take typeface into supply lines. But like most of the, maybe we need alchemy, I don't know. But like most of the time you end up in vanilla where going wide is just generically better, because that's true of like virtually every single 4X that has ever existed since the beginning of time. There are very, very few of them where going in the other direction makes sense. They already have great swordsmen over there, so we are going to need to set up some arquebusiers to make sure that we can clear through those guys without losing a bunch of stuff, because I do not want to lose a bunch of stuff fighting free cities. That is a disaster. That is a disaster. How much science are we at? We're at 4,700. All right, that's fine. Civ 5? I don't know what Civ 5 means, Bruno, but I'll tell you that Civ 5, if you care, here, let's flip over this. Let's float display capture back to the top, and then just like Sid Meier's stuff. Where are you? Sid Meier's 5. Civ 5 last played December 24th, 2015, 190 hours. Oh yes, no, you're right. Yeah, Civ 5 is one where you don't go wide. Civ 5 is one where you have a finite number of cities, and you really do not want to mess around with more than that. Age of Wonders 4 is a little bit kind of like that, because you really do not need more than 4 or 5 cities on virtually every map. But that's not something where like it brutally punishes your growth the same way it does with in Civ 5. you just like you cannot get a bunch of cities in Age of Wonders 4 if you know what you're doing because of the Imperium costs. You'll just end the game before it gets to that point where you trick yourself into making 400 cities. As long as you know the mechanics of the game, that is not a possible outcome, and I think that's pretty good too. All right, there's definitely some guys out here to fight. That's pretty good. I like having some guys to fight. But yeah, Civ 5, the optimal city strategy was like 3 or 4 cities or something like that. And like the bizarro world economy of Civ 5 is that also because a bunch of things that you build have a maintenance cost associated with it, which maintenance costs, to be clear, maintenance costs are not necessarily offensive. I think that they are good at adding texture and friction to Endless Space 2, but Endless Space 2's economy is so huge once you start interacting with the market that it kind of needs that friction in terms of maintenance costs for you to kind of feel like the game is still happening around you. But like, that is not remotely the sort of game that most people play. Most people play games where the economy is a lot more like tangible than in Endless Space 2. And in those more tangible games, any sort of maintenance is something you have to be really careful about how you implement, because otherwise you're just making people be punished by play, and then I'll make videos complaining about that to 400 people. that'll be the consequence of the actions that you've taken, is that some blowhard on the internet will complain to a handful of people, and then those handful of people, I hope, go out and complain to other handful of people, and then we achieve not necessarily virality of content, but by virality of ideas. That's what I want. I want my complaints to become your complaints, so that way they cannot bury them anymore. They must give us what we deserve, which is a 4X game that is good. There's so many that have come so close to perfection and then failed on the final steps. How dare they? All right, buy some stuff. And then I guess, let's see. We really didn't get a billion things here on Asur, but we can make a lot more buildy boys if we want, and I don't hate that. I don't hate building stuff. That's usually pretty good. Yeah, let's build some stuff. We're not going to get the same kind of like insane tech scaling that you get with Japanese, because we don't have the robot workshop, but we do have a big advantage over them in that we just got most of the science that we could scale out pretty much immediately, and so that creates hopefully enough tempo advantage for us that we can stay ahead on science in terms of real growth. Well, we're probably gonna have to build a bunch of research quarters anyway here, right? You're at 400, you're at 337. Yeah, build a couple of makers quarters, and then we'll probably start building some research quarters places. We just have so much stability that we can't not build things. This is another thing that is going to come up in post-mortem, because it is now it's officially approved. We're allowed to stream our own content. So we're going to be doing something irresponsible for way. I wrote a 300-ish page AAR for Humankind, and now we are going to turn that into an unintelligible stream that will confuse and horrify people, because that is where my vibes are. So keep an eye peeled for that. It'll probably be at the end of the month is my guess, because realistically, like, I have content that will actually help people instead of like just be 12 hours of me reading something. But it's gonna be like 12 hours of me reading something and then adding like extra detail that is like so extra that it is probably confusing to the average person, and that's also just something that I think will be fun. Adding things that will be confusing to the average person is also well within the limits of the things that Walker enjoys doing. Maybe we'll grab you to go up there and try to grab that tile. That seems very wise. If we can get the die wondrous effect, I'd like to. Oh wait, we did. Well, all right, we did. Don't tell Bruno that I said if we can get this, I'd like to, because I don't think he was paying attention. I think we got away with it. AARs are great. I love AARs. They're honestly my favorite form of content creation. They are effectively impossible to economize, so I don't know how many we're going to make, but we're going to make more than is responsible, because we've already done that. We've already made enough AAR content that it makes absolutely no sense. So hopefully I can share at least one of them with you. And then the other one was like probably never going to see the light of day, but I'll see how tolerant of me annoying Amplitude will be. I suspect they'll be pretty tolerant. They've put up with a lot of annoyance so far. And that's just like, that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy annoying people. That's the real cross that my poor younger brother has to bear, is that he has to be related to me. It's really embarrassing. Let's see. Do we have... No, we don't really have any way to get even more harbor value here, but whatever. This is good enough, Walker. Like, you really can't complain that much. You've got a million jobs. You got enough money to attach all this stuff, enough stability to attach all this stuff. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, I will be right back, maybe 5-ish minutes this time, but I'm gonna take another quick bio break, and then we'll keep rolling. Sorry that these turns like take so long. It's just that I want to finish this game today, and in order to do that, I do think we need to like make sure that we click on some of the right buttons in the right order. Not all the right buttons in the right order, but definitely at least some of the buttons in the right order. So that way we don't die horrifically because we're just not paying attention. But I honestly do not think that this game is going to go more than like turn 60. And if we play our cards right, we might be able to get it, or turn 90 rather. And I think if we play our cards right, we might be able to get it by turn 85 or something like that. But I have, the only thing that I have planned for the remainder of this evening is going to bed before midnight, because I like need to be at the gym with some old dude at like 9:30 in the morning, as part of the thing that is allowing me to make content based off of passion rather than economic need. I've decided to start selling some of my labor to the father of a friend, and it is, I think, good. It is ontologically good that I am doing that, especially because it means that I can make humankind content rather than content for other games. I can make content for the game that I want to make, even if it's nonsensical economically. But yeah, I'll be right back. Like, ultimately, I don't know how much time there is. Hey, what's up, Broadway? I don't know how much time there is for any of the changes that I would like to be made in Humankind to be made, considering my my proclivities towards just disappearing. But I think there's probably enough time to fix at least some of the stuff, and if there isn't, then like whatever. I enjoy playing on VIP. I wish the netcode were better to the point where we could play multiplayer on different things like mods. Apparently that is a huge problem in VIP, or with VIP, is that there are issues with netcode stability. I think that's like the number one thing that I need to do in regards to Endless Legend as soon as it hits, is make a video sort of like talking through what I think responsible development looks like in regards to early access. And I really do think that the decisions that we're going to get for EA are correct out of Amplitude. It will annoy some people, I'm sure, that they've made the decisions that they have made, but I believe pretty firmly that most of the decisions that they've made have been like for the public good. Because I think it would just be really annoying if people could not play on the settings that they want to play on, because the systems that define the game are not ready for people. But that's a video where like I really think that people need to be correctly thinking about, you know, what EA can look like versus what it did look like for Civ 7. I think there are ethical ways to do EA, and I suspect that what we are going to get out of Amplitude is going to be something that I will consider ethical. Alright, let's go here. Let's do this. Let's get some more potential for stars. We're not gonna finish the game by doing this, because that one is completely unreasonable. I don't know how to rebalance the like end the game by getting 10,000 stars button, but like that doesn't that one does not really do anything, honestly. Oh god, not another freaking free city to conquer. I mean, I guess if we have to just conquer cities, then we have to just conquer cities, but it's not really what I want to be doing. What I really want to be doing is scaling our everything out into infinity in regards to all of this stuff. We're at the point where we could still build a couple of makers' quarters, but this city's makers' quarters are pretty unambiguously bad. 13 production, there's 20 production. That's not atrocious, and it gives us extra job slots. But it looks like Cabinet of Curiosity is probably correct there. Go away, slot. I'm not writing over something for 30. I mean, it's 35 stability. Maybe. Alright, fine game. We will give you what you're asking for, just so you'll stop bothering me about it. And then we'll just build another research quarter out there. There, done. And you want to overwrite another maker's quarter? If we do this, it does give us more adjacency bonuses, at least. So that's not too bad. Or maybe we just start building down here. I think that might be better. Okay, so we got all those guys. They're ready. We don't have any cash for upgrading a bunch of stuff this turn anyway, so I think that's all right. I think that all looks pretty good to me. And this is where our science is, so we'll get movable typeface probably next turn. Oh, can we buy that out? No, but we can buy it out next turn if we don't waste all of our cash. Yeah, let's do that. Let's buy that out if we don't waste all of our cash. Done.
The written word was previously available to a small, often wealthy elite. Now, knowledge and propaganda can be distributed to the masses.
Hell yeah. Let's distribute knowledge to the masses. I guess let's buy out that saltpeter before I forget to do it. And then we can heal some, because these guys they're just rocking and rolling out here. These guys are gonna probably be able to wipe out everyone out in this frontier space all on their own. Should we break off the cav to go grab another tile? So that way the stupid free cities don't? Probably. Yeah, probably. These are only 5 guys, right? Right. Let's see. Who is reinforcing? 163. I think we'll be okay if we send the knights out.
Right.
And if we send the knights out and we grab right here and then move in, it'll still be in space to reinforce into that fight. That seems like a good deal. Let's do that. Yep. Cool. Good deal. And now we have like way more than enough influence to just move La Superba somewhere. And I guess we really do have way more than enough influence. Let's just move here to Fog Bust. Yeah, that's okay. Now we're at the point where we get to start doing fancy things with influence, and that I love doing. I love doing fancy things with influence. Oh hell yes, Steam Engine time, baby! Fancy things with influence. Finally. All right, so Bruno, did you rebalance artistic expression at all? Not that it necessarily needs to be rebalanced, but like, it seems like free expression just has to be better. I cannot figure out a situation where I desperately want the other one.
You should listen to this.
Brown wants to share maps. Whatever, that's fine. We can share maps. Like, I don't think we're competing with Brown for first place. Right now, we're not competing with anybody for first place, so we'll see we'll see how long we can hold on to that position for, but this might be the just drive straight for the end of the game and not have to worry about picking up 10,000 fame along the way in post-mortem because of the speed at which we were playing and the mistakes that I made early game. I kind of had to play a little bit of catch up on fame in order to end the game and not lose, but just spoilers, it was a pretty interesting playthrough. It was a fun little game for me to play and be able to experience and hopefully share with everyone. All right, so we're not going to trade with blue because those guys are like kind of close to us in terms of fame. I don't mind trading with the Swiss. Oh, man, well, they want like half of our gold income for next turn, and it could give us access to papyrus and maybe sage. So yeah, let's do it, and then we'll see if we can get a manufactory off of that next turn. I think we probably can. And you go here, I guess, to grab that tile. Yeah, I want to get as much of this continent as we feel like we need. That'll be pretty good. +1 science per pop. We're gonna have a buttload of pops pretty quickly. 628. I think this is fine. A little more production, and then we probably can start dumping in just a buttload of research quarters pretty soon after that. The rate limiting step here is less going to be how do we get enough production to finish things, because we can just like filter literally our entire economy into building space race stuff if we need to, and it's generally fine to do so if no one's attacking you. So we can do that once we get there, but we need enough science to get there on a reasonable time frame. That's really our rate limiting step at the moment. Guess we could build more science stuff on that note. Bruno, can you confirm? I'm pretty sure that I am correct on this, but like the extra jobs that you get from places like Manuscript Atelier, they increase the cost on research quarters, don't they? Because this provides jobs. Like 85% that is true, but that's something where I would have to like, that might be another like homework stream where we just like figure out what some of these buttons do in terms of their like literal implications. Nineveh is also growing like crazy. All right, sweet. Yeah, this is not bad. I do not hate what is currently going on, and as soon as we can get to urban planning, we will have a billion pops to do stuff with, including building just like a buttload of either scientists or workers, depending on which side of the urban planning child labor law we want to fall on. 20, 39, yep. And you're just gonna be ticking up over and over and over again, so we can still build a little more production. Yeah, let's get a little more production. Let's do, I guess you're the 19 first. Yeah, let's do the 19 first and then the 20 and then the 3. That looks all right. Okay, so this is the continent, and there's a random island that we're not interacting with at the moment. And then here, I guess, is another city that we're going to have to roll over. But yeah, it looks like basically we've reached the edge of the continent. We'll finish those guys off, sweep down, hit them. And then if there's enough time to conquer purple, then we will conquer purple. You have way more than enough stability to attach this, though. And you do not. So I guess you have 2046. That's pretty basically the same situation here for both of those cities. Honestly, they're at like 900 food. All right, yeah, we'll attach this to one of them next turn. Maybe we'll put it to vote. Which nonsense city do we want to attach to first, everybody? Which conquered land do we want to get the most value out of? All right, Here we go. So we got an opportunity to intervene on mercenary armies or any of these guys, but honestly, I don't think I care about almost any of these. I guess we'll take cultural blessing. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be getting in terms of real value out of some of these things, because some of them don't tell me like directly what I'm supposed to be getting. But I'm gonna take multiculturalism. We'll vote on it. We'll see if we can get everybody online with that. But if not, might make sense to just grab social. +3 science on city or outpost per territory following your state religion is more science, and I don't hate that. Let's do that. Let's get some science for everybody, especially us. So now we're at 6,100. That's all right. It's okay. Scientific method is also a pretty good spot for us to move into next. We could pick up encyclopedia. Hello, spooky boy. I don't think we need to take supply lines yet. We might need it once we conquer one of these extra cities, because we could float potentially at 10 as long as we have a 6 city cap. I think that's fine. But I don't really want to leave Layla as a city. That's so anemic in terms of total growth. Like, maybe I could grab those tiles, but I think we're better off with city up here, absorb this into probably Macumba, and then just like move on with our life. Yeah, that looks okay. All right, so Sirmium has an angry little army over here with some great swords and some crossbowmen. That's generally where they are right now. That's fine. We have that, but our guys have a bunch of random stars on them, so hopefully that allows us to get you wrecked. Get thee wrecked, son. Yep, cool. Alright, cool. Thank you for your service and giving us something for our guys to fight against. I always appreciate having something to fight against. That makes me feel good. Alright, so Asur is going to be able to grab this tile, so we might as well just give this tile to Nineveh. I think that's fine. Oh, we can even add a coal mine here. Yeah, let's buy that out. Boom. And I guess we have enough influence. Let's make some noise. Let's make some real noise. Some chugga choo-choos. Give me some choo-choos in the chat, Bruno. Don't lie to me. Let's see. There's one. I guess we can unattach you. Because we really do have the resources here. Yeah, we have enough. And you can grab this. There we did. We built a rail line between 2 cities. not actual cities, but we did build them, so that's good enough. Right? Yeah, that's good enough. We'll detach that. Looks like we lost the production on that research quarter because I was not paying attention. That's fine. We don't need production on everything. We'll get production on enough that I'll feel fine with this. And then I guess, is it worth it for me to try to build anything down there? I don't think so. Build this. Done, and done. And then you, Makenge, are you building anything right now? You're not. All right, cool. So you can detach. Oh, we can't detach that because it's being used for an adjoining territory. Oh, it's being used for an adjoining territory up north. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. We don't need literal entire railway across this entire continent because we're not currently under attack from anybody. Choo-choo! Excellent. Thank you, Four-Way. Yeah, I think this is fine. I mean, I guess we could actually just detach all of this because we do have enough cash to bring everything back. So yeah, whatever. We got enough cash. We got enough influence. We can build the thing that we're here to build, which is real. We have enough stability to do it too, so I don't see any reason not to. Done and done. And this is something that I do know some people complained about whenever they added it to the game, that you could add these things with influence, but I think that the more that I play, the more that I am thrilled that this is available in this game, because you need something to do with influence in the late game. You really do. If you do not do stuff with influence in the late game and you just have like a giant number here, your economy is not growing as quickly as it could. I promise. I promise. Yeah, alright. Attach. I don't know, Bruno. Maybe you're right. Maybe Inca are good. Like, the fact that we can attach all of these for free is pretty sweet. I don't know if it's worth our industrial era pick or the early modern era pick or not. That's something that I will have to play around with more, but it did just save us just a ridiculous number of widgets. I really can't deny that. I love widgets. I hate widgets. I love widgets. I am one with widgets. I am become widgets. We are all become widgets. Cool. I mean, yeah, we're gonna have an absolutely insane number of like raw research coming out of some of these cities, even without the bonus. And then when we can flip it over, I think it'll be a good test of our patience to see how deep into this float of madness we can go. But I think it'll be good. Yeah, let's detach you. Oh god damn it! I don't want to lose the production on this, but I don't remember where that city is, where that tile is being built. So we will do what we must in the name of science here. There's another rail. We didn't pick up the thing that lets us add forests yet, which is another really powerful tool for scaling yourself up, but it's okay. That's all right. We will add that if we need to. I feel like Inca is an interesting one for sure. I don't know where it is in terms of like total strength, but it is definitely interesting. It is a lot crunchier than probably I was prepared for it to be, because it does seem like it doesn't do everything, but it does the things that it's doing well enough that it might genuinely be very powerful. Because we're attaching this for 3 gold. Like that's zero. That's zero. That's a lot of free movement that we just got. Like a lot of free movement that we just got. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's pretty spicy. We're not getting as much out of the rail as we probably could, because we're not trying to annihilate somebody on the same continent. But that's okay. Like there's only one person left out here. We're currently really ahead on fame. It really is just stop digging around and wasting everybody's time, Walker, and just get to the stupid space race. That's your goal. That's your mission. And if you don't succeed on that mission during this stream, I'm gonna write you an angry email, Walker. Write yourself an angry email saying you're a rotten liar. You told me that you were gonna finish this stream today. I guess we have enough pops that we can do this. Not thrilled with that, but it does give us extra jobs everywhere. And we really are just blowing through our job cap here. We need to get to urban planning. Yeah, we need to get to urban planning, because we're going to have so many jobs very quickly that we're not going to be able to handle all of the growth that we're getting. So let's do that. Let's get to urban planning. Are you really maxed out on jobs, Knock? Is that actually where you are? You did not pick up any free attachment, though. How did we not build any of those? No, we built 1. Okay. So these might be a little expensive to detach and reattach. But we also don't have like 1 million extra stability in the city anyway. So like this city might even just need to get gone. I don't know. We will find out. We will find out. But in the meantime, let's build some more science. And then we will hopefully get to urban planning quicker than sooner than this. Oh, can we get there if we just keep moving? I don't think we get the science from detached territories. I'm pretty sure that Bruno has not included that, but that's okay. I don't think we need it. Yeah, let's build here, assuming that we're going to be building some maker's quarters off of that. That looks like a reasonable spot. And I guess you can also take a free guy. We could even overwrite this if we don't care about the job, which I guess we don't care about the job. We have enough jobs in Kirtan that that's overwrite. And now we have a rail connecting effectively the entire continent. So if the AI starts getting spicy, we're not going to be as on the back foot. Oh, we can't attach it because of 3 chariots. Well, 3 chariots. I guess we will deal with you next turn. We'll figure out what you're up to then. We could even build here for easy redeployment down to wipe out purple. Or easy reinforcement to bring more units to the north. It seems alright. And just want to make sure that we don't have a way to get the tech in one turn here, but I suspect we're probably capped on scientists. No, we're not capped on scientists. Nineveh, stop making farmers. You have a job to do. There's one more. God, we're so close. I want the scientific method. I want science. There's 4 more right here, Walker. If you want scientists, you better move them. Oh, 3. No. Oh my God. Come on. Please, I'm begging you. I'll do anything. Give it here? Yo! All right, sweet. We got it. We got it. Yeah, I'll get a little more food here, even though we've at 900 food. No, 900 food. We'll build a little bit of food. But get that out of here. Get off this. Get out of here. Research quarters. Science. Yeah. All right. Science. Yeah. And then I guess we'll see where our economy is next turn. But I think it'll be in a good spot. Loki, get out of here. All right, cool. So now we have even faster scaling because these things are gonna be cheaper, and that's good. I like our things that we're doing being inexpensive. That's usually pretty powerful. I don't know if I care about that. If we're going to be in a war, then I would definitely want furnace steel. We might want this anyway because extra production is really strong. So I guess I'll take this. But in a war, if you have the ability to build an armory in a PvP situation that's like +1 or 2 extra military strength on like everything, do that. That's usually pretty good. Having more military strength than your opponent is usually pretty good. That's a pro tip. That's a not pro tip. That is an obvious thing that you should be paying attention to a little better, Walker. Why you guys stop doing this? Go to where my jobs are. Go to where I told you that your jobs are. Stop pretending like you don't know where you're supposed to be going, Pops. I clicked the buttons for you. You have to figure out the rest of it. I guess we do have way more than enough to just keep growing research quarters here, and we really do want to just get through to the most important techs and then get this game done, so let's do that.
Listen very
Ghana wants a non-aggression pact. You have no fame and no chance to threaten me for fame, so sure. Well, absolutely. We can be best friends.
Friend, you are a warming presence.
Diplomatic
to a cold
cooperation?
world.
Sure. Yeah. I'm just gonna be friends to the world now, other than purple, because I don't think anyone is going to try to stop us other than potentially maybe, who'd-you-wanna-call-it? Blue? Yeah, it seems probably true. Bruno, you don't get the science from outposts, right? They have to be attached to something to get the bonus. Pretty sure that's how that works. Yeah, because I'm not seeing science on that outpost, so we have to attach it. But Asur has the ability to attach it. 82, so we can buyrush this and then attach that, so that way that maker quarter doesn't cost a lot more. And then we can drop in another sailing club. Yep, we're dropping back down because the button collective minds was giving us so much of our real research there. That's where the power of Japan is, I think, a little higher. If you're trying to like get a billion fame in the late game, it can let you go all the way like supremely deep into the tree, and that's a good place to be. If you have to get a ton of research, a ton of fame at the end of the game, getting up to here will get you a ton of fame, like just a ton of fame. Yeah, Sirmium, sure. We'll fight you. Done. Sweet. So I guess Sirmium can grab that tile. Yeah, that was okay. So attach an expansionist star. Sweet. Do not hate it. Grab another sailing club. And another sailing club. These are so cheap that I might as well just buyrush them, honestly. Hey, cool. Well, I wish I'd seen that before picking it up, but considering how much gold we have versus, or money we have versus what our current requirements are, I think this is fine. Is that actually enough for us to build the whale manufactory? No, but it will be once we conquer Layla. So yeah, let's... I want to finish them off. I want bear paws, but I also desire fish. So maybe we should kill them and then come back down here. Because what's the... Wondrous? 2% per science per ambergris. Oh, God. That's a lot of science. That's good, like, plus 6%. So that's several... That's a couple hundred at this point. Maybe we do want to do that first. At which point I'm really happy we built all of these rail, because I get to waffle as much as I want to. We can move our troops almost everywhere. Yeah, move our troops almost everywhere. Right, you hang out here, Inca, Sapa Inca Guard. We don't really need you, probably, for this fight. And expert policy, bottom to that, top to that. And I guess we need more production. Yeah, honestly, we have enough cash that we can actually buyrush some of these. Man, I should have done that before attaching this. We've literally highlighted that as a good strategy, Walker. You should probably do the thing. You can do the thing. I know you can do the thing. It's too late now. We're in for a penny. We're in for a pound. We're buyrushing things that we could have buyrushed for cheaper. And I guess we now can just move over here, because I think we can hit them in one turn if we break off the knight. Maybe that'd be pretty good. All right, Nemosos, you have not been building anything because you're busy doing science things. So let's fix that up. And then maybe we'll get a little more production here too. Yeah, that's a little more production here too. Yeah, we have enough stability for that. That's fine. If anybody has any questions, or if they also are like playing along at home, or if they've like experienced enough of the game to have suggestions about where we should be going, then feel free to hit me up. I think our plan here is sound otherwise, and it's just a question of executing on it. But this is a very complicated game. The people who think that it is not a very complicated game, I promise, are just not paying very close attention. There's a lot of stuff going on in Humankind, and that's part of what I love about it. Yeah, that looks okay. Yeah, that looks alright. Almost in control of our supercontinent. That's another sort of problem whenever it comes to how do you create useful targets. If you're playing on a much bigger or a much smaller map, then your numbers are going to be entirely different in the mid and late game. It's just the way it is. Well, this would give us an infinite amount of stability to work with, which is not bad. But I think our plan remains. I mean, do we have enough influence to detach and forest things? I mean, we'll have like 5,000 influence next turn, unless we want to build some stuff. Not really desperate to do that unless it's going to be something that's going to scale us out, though. Eiffel Tower isn't bad, though. Gives us extra production on everybody, and it's pretty easy to get down to. Oh, and Cristo Redentor is also nuts. Yeah, let's get Cristo Redentor. We're gonna get it for you, Bruno. We're getting your cultural pick, whether you want us to or not. It's here. It's in the game, so it's done. It is the only case. I don't think there's a reason to put it anywhere other than our capital, though. Yeah, I don't think there's a reason to put it anywhere other than capital. And I guess we can finish out the cabinet, even just buyrush this turn, because we really aren't doing anything else with this. So yeah, that looks alright. I guess on that note, we don't really need to get guilds immediately. So I guess we could take coal plants. Nah. Do I care about workers slots? I mean, that is more jobs. Where's our urban planning? Urban planning through electricity. Yeah, let's just do it. We're gonna have way too many jobs. We gotta do this. Yeah, sounds good, 4-way. Like, the rest of the stream, I don't know how long this is gonna take, because I'm kind of just, like, wandering around and doing stuff at this point. But the rest of the stream, I'm going to go through and add chapter titles and stuff. And unless I do something grotesquely irresponsible in the mid and late game, or the late game here, I think it will show how to win Humankind instead of how to die brutally to Bruno's new update for the rules. So hopefully that'll be the kind of content that you can get some value from as a person who's interested in this game. But I hope that, like, watching this has gotten you excited enough that you want to play more of it, because I think this game really is awesome. I think it's a lot better on VIP, but I think that kind of no matter what, it is a very good game. It's got a lot of things going on. Alright, get out of here, unit. Alright, sweet. Good deal. Good deal. Let's see if there's anybody else for us to interact with, but I suspect we're probably okay. Oh. I thought diplomats had diplomatic immunity and could just move past things, but maybe not. Does seem to be the case that is not available here. 3 turns. Can we get you to 2? Can we get you to 2? Is it worth trying to get you to 2? We might be able to just overflow into by just moving the extra production off of this onto this. Honestly, probably will. Yeah, seaman. Yeah, I think we can get that done in 2. So let's see, 21 production. Yeah, we'll take 27 extra prod, and then I guess we will just focus down the Cristo Redentor here. So what I'm doing is I'm spending some amount of our production growth here to make sure that we get the like core infrastructure down that's going to get us extra growth. But then like kind of all the extra production, instead of like floating on a real surplus, I'm just putting immediately into Cristo Redentor because I want to get that thing done in 2 turns because that will help us out. Once we get that down, our production will be high enough that I think we can build everything we need to do in order to finish this out, especially once we get urban planning to get okay, honestly at that point we might just take straight researchers, because we're gonna have way too many children who do not know how to read that we can then teach how to read, and then they can go crazy. All right, so purple we're not trading with. I guess we could even trade everything here because there's a little bit of scaling involved with these guys. Yeah, we'll get a little bit off of you. Give me your main strategic things, Ghana. You love trading with me. I'm your favorite. And then I don't know if we need to trade with those guys for strategics, but
Go ahead.
probably can trade with Rapa Nui. I don't think they're strong enough to threaten us here.
We can live with
Yeah,
this.
let's get some
We
trading
accept.
done. I like any game where trading is good. I'm not complicated. Trade is a very powerful thing in real life. I don't care the precise nature or form with which a developer attempts to make trade good in their game. As long as they make it good and they understand that it is good, then I'm pretty happy with what the game is trying to simulate and describe. Yep, 1 turn, cool. Hey, spread our influence through an entire continent. Cool. Yes, the widget power is going to start flowing in pretty quickly from here on out. 3 doodly boys. I'm not afraid of 3 doodly boys. Wow, so this is a big army. It is an incredibly low quality army, but it is a big army. I don't actually know what this will do to our instant resolutions, but looks like the quality problem is big enough that it does not matter. Just wipe them out anyway. It's a good deal. And we'll buy out that sailing club. And I guess we can even just immediately merge Yellow Lego, right? 14, 24. We could even use this to grow pops, but I don't think we really need pops that bad either. So this is mostly just a city that's here to just be there. Yeah, sorry, Yalla. Sorry, Yalla Taco. Get out of here. You're done. Boom. Boom. Yeah. Good. Excellent. All right. Black wants diplomatic cooperation. I'm fine with this. This is something where we might show this off in like a different homework stream, like what the problems are with monumental contractors, because it does sound like there are pretty serious problems with monumental contractors in vanilla. And so that's something where I do not ever really truly intend to like abuse that on stream, because that's not my vibe. That's not the kind of content that I like watching or making. But we will probably need to show it off just so that way, if there's time at Amplitude to fix that stuff, then I hope it gets fixed. Yes, we will clean this up very definitely. Deep water disaster. We have 400 gold. Not a problem. Okay, so we've got that done. Maybe we'll break off 1 unit to grab these things, just for extra chances on manufactory rolls. But it looks like the main manufactory that we're going to be able to get is at Lulu anyway. Maybe we should just send you north to get a little bit of experience points, to get the XP. Yeah, let's do that. Boom.
Lightning in a bottle.
We've discovered
This new
electricity.
power-
Give me the points. Yo. And we got Cristo Redentor, so now we should have just really an unreasonable number of pops coming in everywhere. We could just send a swordsman to do all this work. It would take a little while for them to go to all these tiles, but considering that I don't really know what's on those tiles, I'm okay doing that. It's fine by me. And then we'll send our other guys down here to try to clean this out. Yeah. Everybody else go down there. They chased off our Sapa Inca. Well, that's rude. It's correct, but that is rude. So maybe we will need a couple more troops up there, considering that they do have some quality of troops. Oh, and this will be actually really easy to build. You can, like, drop that garrison in, and then make a couple of units next turn, and then in 3 turns we go over and conquer Layla. Yeah, that's alright. Maybe we even can get you over here if we have enough time. Yeah, looks like we might have enough time. I don't know if we're going to be able to get the explore the entire world naturally, but one of the other things that is available in the game is that you can build the super satellite that reveals the entire universe, and then of course that is going to give you even more ways to potentially get extra scaling in your fame slots. We have ridiculous amounts of stability here in Asur, so yeah, we should add some. We should add some value here. We should add some train stations. Guess we'll take a 4-5. That's fine. And I guess we could even detach you to add another train station in the south. Yeah, that seems alright. I don't know if we want to detach these 2 to add train stations, considering, but I think that's kind of unnecessary anyway. It's going to be pretty expensive because we didn't get the Inca bonus down here for those guys. Yeah, I don't want to waste 10,000. I don't want to waste 10,000 gold, he says, and then immediately waste 10,000 gold. Good, perfect, just the way we drew it up. All right, let's go. You here. You here, and you here, and now Asur looks a lot better. Yes, good. All right. So we will have urban planning next turn, which means that we should be able to make 1 billion research jobs very quickly, as long as we can keep growth coming in from Mukenge. So we might need to build more. We might actually genuinely need to build more farmers' quarters here on capital, just to use Machu Picchu a little better in the very end game here. But let's get some units done first, and then we can figure out the rest of that nonsense. Yeah, let's do that. And then we should be able to build some pretty, like, probably just a full extra stack, honestly. So now we want to figure out how we scale Macumba out. We're going to get more total jobs if we do a little more production first. We do also have the stability for it, so let's do a little bit more of that. And then I think we can probably switch over to working on research quarters. Yeah, and then we can definitely do some research quarters. Yeah, that looks alright. Some of these turns I do intend to, like, queue a bunch of things at once, but because we're going to get like a million jobs in just like a handful of turns, like actually literal 1 turn, I want to make sure that we are well situated for that, because getting that many jobs when you have Machu Picchu online is pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't know if I want to build a big research quarter in the middle of nowhere, though. I think I'd rather build it over here, honestly. Yeah, these tiles look like trash. Those are dumb tiles for silly nonsense people. This is a way to get our units south, though. Yeah, let's do that. Hamlet. I guess we didn't build a rail here in Athabine, but we might have wanted to. So yeah, let's detach this. We'll add another rail. Not complicated, man. I like chugga chugga choo choo. And then there we go. Now we have I think all we need to reposition everybody down south to finish them off, because they're going to be in a spooky spot, honestly. They have a size 12 cap. Let's see what the other capitals that we can find are looking like. A size 8 capital out of Orange on turn 66. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I am talking about. I love the soundtrack in this game. It is on another level. Let's see. No, that was a decline down here, I think. Yeah, let's add some hamlets. That's a lot of jobs. And I guess we'll add another research quarter. Let's build the hamlet last, because I think that's going to increase the cost on these other guys probably enough that I'm going to regret it. Yeah, let's do it like that. Sirmium. Once we conquer that spot down there, we should be in a good location to get a manufactory here. I guess we also probably do need jobs, just because we are going to get so many pops so quickly. Yeah, let's do this. Mimosos is at 37 out of 39. But for one more turn, we're at 37 out of 39. Let's build a little more industry. And then I think what I'm going to do is just immediately go into science, rather than starting on production. That's another one of those, like, how do you interact with child labor laws, where I don't actually know what the right answer is, and it might be that the right answer is actually, like, dependent situationally on what the board looks like. That's kind of what I hope that it is like. I will say that the vast majority of the time on single player, it feels correct to just start on science and then don't worry about the other stuff, because you'll get plenty of production from doing this stuff anyway. But I guess we will find out. We will find out. This is why I like researchers. You get so much stuff. There's so many nice little bonuses for research. The Contemporary Era in 1220 CE. Let's go. Okay, urban planning is done. Great. Can you get up there in one turn? No, you cannot get up there in one turn. So let's go here, I guess, and we'll grab that, and then hopefully be able to get incense manufacturing next turn after that. Hopefully. Pull you down here, grab children's rights. We will grab research, child education. Press freedom, I don't really care about. I mean, I guess we could take cultural respect. Like, it doesn't cost us anything, and there might be a little more cash for us available that way, and we definitely have the influence to burn here. So yeah, let's grab cultural respect, and maybe we want to take political enlightenment. We need nationhood to do this. I think we're still off from that, aren't we? We could take nationhood next turn, actually. Yeah, let's take nationhood. Oh no, 2 turns. We need encyclopedia and a nationhood, but then we can take this guy for science on research quarters, which is going to be pretty ridiculous. So we just go Republic into that choice. We have 50 population in our empire, 50 population in our capital, but we do have 50 population in our empire, so that's good at least. Yeah, that's good at least. Good. So you go there. I don't know if this is enough military strength that I'm happy taking this fight with just these 3 stacks. I think I do want to add one more. And we have the ability to, so let's go ahead and drop our garrison slot up here. So this is what I like garrisons being used for, is just like making units super close to the enemy, so that way you just immediately can get units into the combat. That's what I enjoy doing with them. 44 strength, 36, 40, 37. Yeah, we'll get a couple of Sapainka guards. Just get a 4 stack of Sapainka and a couple of arquebusiers. Maybe we'll get a horse. And we'll get another arquebusier there. That's another 6 stack. That should be easy enough to roll over Layla and get us our manufactory on whale stuff. That's really where you want to be. You just want to get manufactories as quickly as you can, because they are incredibly powerful. Hey, rude! Get out of here. Oh, you ran away. Good. Thank you, Black. Thank you for running away from our diplomat for some reason, but I appreciate the effort, and wish you well in your future endeavors. Okay, let's go through and max out the science here for just a little second, just a little bit. Let's get some science. And I guess we'll build a couple of makers quarters to fill in. 191. I don't think those guys are ever going to be at the point where we really desperately need them. 65 is pretty good though, so let's get that. Yeah, that looks all right. You're at 3 out of 4. There's a hamlet. There's another maker's quarter, and I guess we'll do a couple of research quarters over there too, because of the job appreciation. Kirtan, what are you gonna do? We have 18 job slots currently on research guys, so these are not really giving us what we want. So yeah, let's build a little more production here, so that way we can keep growing the physical infrastructure growth here in the city. Once we get all those maker quarters done, then it'll still be possible for us to loop back around and pick these guys up. But it means we'll actually have a little more scaling for building our research or our ships going into space. That's what we want to do. We want to go into space, kids. Yeah, that looks all right. Foreign customs we already did, and children's rights we already did. But let's make sure that all these guys are maxed out, because they cannot possibly be. 12, 19 out of 26. Yeah, they're not. Boom, boom, boom. Good. So that's 26. That's 17 there on knock. That means that knock needs more research quarters. So we could do you first. Yeah, we'll do you first, and then we'll come back for this. And we should be able to get Encyclopedia and a Nationhood. I think we should be able to get that in like 2 turns, probably. Stop farming. Nemosos, you're not allowed to farm. Your pops have considerably more important things to do. You must build, you must research. You must build, you must research. Those are your 2 choices. Yeah, that looks okay. Oh wait, that looks okay for that city. 1, 11, yeah. Let's go here and here. 16, 4, 12. Looks like that's it for job slots. Yeah, that's it for job slots. So we need to crank out some research labs, but now we have research labs going crazy. New Zealand Croadilla. Like we just put it to vote, like what late game science thing do we want to play around with, and it seems like the chat agreed that we wanted to play with New Zealander this time. I suspect that probably Japan would have been stronger still anyway, but like we got up to a relatively reasonable science level pretty fast. I'll trade off a couple of units for that. That's fine. Yep. That's why we built an extra 6 stack, so that we could take that fight without losing everybody. But yeah, we went with New Zealand, and now we're just kind of running straight to going into outer space is the goal. Because we're I think ahead enough now on Fame that we really don't need to do anything other than end the game. That's really all we need to do. Speaking of, I guess we should probably figure out how to do that. So in order to do that, we are going to need to get up to rocket science. We could just literal beeline for it, but we're going to need whatchamacallit. We're gonna need the thing that where's the oil deck? We're gonna need a combustion engine along the way first. But if we get combustion engine, we might legit be able to just like straight rush for rocket science here, and then finish this out without getting like 2/3 of the research tree done. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do it. We're just gonna beeline straight for the space people, and then we'll figure out if we have the production to finish it all out in style. But I think we will, because we do have Topkapi, and we have enough cities that we can just throw a bunch of surplus at it. That's typically all you need to do. Just throw a buttload of surplus at it, and you usually get where you gotta go. Alright, so we have collective mines back again. But that's something where I want to use that on a city where we have so many jobs available that I don't care if we don't build anything for a couple of turns. So why don't we build a couple of extra research quarters in this city, and then maybe we'll click on Asur next turn, because I don't hate that actually. We could even buyrush the printing house, and then get that done, and then click this. Yeah, and then click this next turn, and we should have well over 10k. So we should be able to finish this in maybe an hour. He says out loud, and then delays and clicks on nonsense for the next 6.5 hours. This is the kind of content that you are all signed up for. Just deliberate, insane learning. I think we can afford a couple more research slots here, Walker. We've got the power. We've got the power. Yeah, the fact that we get 2 off of one of these bad boys is pretty sweet. Where do we want to set this up though? I guess there's already a reason to plop them here. We've already got a research quarter in that area, and most of the time you can get a little more from doing fancy adjacency bonuses, but like most of the time in most 4Xs, don't worry about the late game stuff. Worry about the thing that gives you the most power now, and then that'll give you the most late game stuff later. And I guess we could take 2 more research slots there if we want it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do declare Thumb War. Yeah, we'll take this. Nineveh, we can grab a crap ton. Oh, right, we got Nation. We can take Republic Evolution, Walker. Democratic Republic. Kaboom. Good. Now we're rocking and rolling. Now we're rocking and rolling, and we will have enough income that I do not know what we will do with all of it, but that's all right. That we are now at the point. This is also why Walker's late game is bad. We are now at the point where like I sincerely do not understand how the AI is supposed to beat us, so I just started playing badly. Just started playing badly. It's fine. I got the cash to burn if we need it, but I don't think anyone's going to attack us this turn anyway. Turn 69, we'll get the propellers. Nice. Oh, grab an outpost while we're out here. While we're out here doing the thing that we said we were gonna do. Why don't we do the thing that we said we were gonna do? We could even make a unit out of Sirmium to go over there and grab this. So let's do that. Yeah, let's just buyrush a knight to go grab that. And then maybe go down there and grab that. We're just going to grab as many tiles as we can now, because the AI is not going to stop us. And if we have a billion tiles, that's probably going to be pretty good. We want that one, or do we want production? Yeah, we want production still. So that way we can at least get a little more late game stuff finished if we have to. If somehow blue gets it together in terms of its fame, we can audible into something else. But if we don't, we're now down to five techs left that we need, probably. So it's 3 turns to get over here, 3 turns to get over here. Yeah, let's just go up there. We'll grab that. You, boom, boom. Oh, hey, there's a world wonder out here. All right, well, I don't hate that at all, actually. That's great. I love that. There's 72. And it looks like you can come down here, 4 turns to both. So I don't know, it doesn't matter. Just go down there and do a thing. You'll be fine. And I guess that means that we can just attach to Sraj, right? We want to build both of these manufactories, but do these cities need stability? Not really. These cities need stability more. Let's see if we can trade for a little more to finish those off. I don't think there was anybody else who had a little. Oh, yes, there is someone who has a little bit more. Swiss, help me do manufacturing things. Perfect. Thank you, Swiss. You've been such a good trade partner. Yeah, we have enough cash. Let's buy out everything. Boom and boom. I guess we'll buy all the paper, although we don't really need it. It's not really costing us anything either.
If I cannot teach you wisdom,
we're not trading with blue because nominally they are maybe going to compete with us for first. Maybe we do, just so that way we have these bonuses, so that way we can apply them to finish things off. Because if we're getting the wondrous effect for silver, getting another 2% there is pretty nice. Same with getting another 4% off of the silk. All right, blue, do you want to trade? You want to give me your resources? You do? Sweet. Yeah, let's do this.
Now here is a civilization with whom great things can be done.
Yeah, great things will be done. We are going to go to space, and you're going to be really impressed. And my mom is going to say that I'm her favorite son instead of Harry. My younger brother is like 7 years younger than me and a lot more responsible and kept together. Yeah, I'm looking forward to our multiplayer game, Croadilla. Like, I think we're going to have a good time. I think we're going to learn a lot. I suspect you're probably gonna kill me. I really do hope that people are okay with the no manuals against the map, because that really is a line in the sand for me. I think once you start doing manuals against the map in any game with a strategic layer, that the game does not function. I think that it will cause you to have grotesquely higher growth patterns in ways that I think make the game uninteresting. I get how some people could want like really fast growth patterns. If that's what people like doing, then that's fine. But it'll result in like the game being over before I think you get to express what the game is really doing. And I don't like that. I like this game. I think this game's really cool, and I like it when we get to play more of it. But I get that not everyone is of that mind, and some people really want the games to just be like one and done, blast through because you kill a bunch of mammoths and then the game's over. And that is a play experience. It's just not a play experience that I find very interesting. I think that there's enough opportunities to get good value out of auto resolves that you really don't have to do that. If you understand how to interact with auto resolves, you don't have to do that. All right, there we go. So we got that city. I don't think we need an 11th city here, but actually this could be a city where you just buy out some stuff and then merge to Kirtan, honestly, because Kirtan needs a crap ton of stability, and we can make a crap ton of stability. We can make a crap ton of stability here because of ambergris, and then we can even merge here. Yeah, exactly. I like. Yeah, this is, thank you, Crowdilla. Yes, you understand the problems that I'm having here now. This game is over, but I have promised that I was going to finish all of the games, so I will finish this game, but I legitimately have absolutely no idea how the AI is supposed to stop me at this point. So for the remainder of this, it'll just be not a flexing, this is not a flexing stream. I'm not doing this to like destroy the AI for power fantasy reasons. I'm doing this because I promised people at home that I would finish games more responsibly and more reasonably than I usually do. But the game really does feel entirely over at this point. Like, if the AI came back, it would probably be because I was on mushrooms and like had no idea where I was, and that's not the case. So the AI is gonna have a lot of trouble in the remainder of this game, no matter how loose I play or what buttons I click. I do not think the AI is going to present a reasonable challenge in the mid and late game here. But Crowdilla, have you played on VIP yet? Because I'll tell you that I'm really looking forward to that. Like, VIP, especially if you do auto resolve only, is incredibly challenging. I have won once off stream playing during one of my abandoned YouTube just go do stuff by myself dirtle phases of my life. I went and did some of that, and it was interesting because it like exposed some good data for Bruno to work off of, and also kind of gave me, I think, the wrong impression of what the game was going to be like on VIP, because I just happened to have a very good spawn, and so the game did not challenge me, and so I thought that VIP was going to be fine. But I am glad that we are doing these streams, because I was wrong. VIP does really change the game enough that if you're not paying attention, you will be omega level dead. Wait a second. Where's my turn all of the things in the science button? Isn't that supposed to be here? I didn't click that already, did I? I swear to God. I swear to God, I'm supposed to have a button that does that. What did you do with it, Walker? What did you do with it? I don't know. I really don't know, Walker. I have no idea what you did with it. And now you're just talking to yourself. I have no idea what you did with it, and now you're talking to yourself. Good. Perfect. Just the way you drew it up. That's a lot of production. That is a lot of production. And I guess we'll get a little bit of stability. We'll have the ability to flex into it. But I imagine, so Crowdilla, do you guys usually play with the Parabellum Wonder Pack? Because I just got that from Amplitude. I'm not using it here because like I literally just got the code this morning, and so I still haven't had time to really incorporate it yet. But I want to play around with it and see what it does. I assume that it's something that you guys play with, because it doesn't seem like the sort of thing that would like break the game's fundamentals in a way where you would find it offensive. Oh, here it is. So now we can click Collective Minds on Nineveh. and get a billion thingamabobs. Yeah, let's get all the science. Let's get all the science. 3,000, 4,000 science. All right, 14,000 science. Cool. All right, sweet. Good deal. Maybe we're at the point where we want to just start stacking up banked production, honestly, because that's also pretty good. If you can bank just an infinity amount of production for when the fancy boys, when the space guys come down, then that's pretty strong. Irreligion. All right, so we could pick up secularism also here, and then we'll get a little bit more fame, which we don't really need, but it's here. There's no reason to not take it. Let's do it. Cleans out all this stuff, but I don't really care about that. We're still doing fine on research even without that. I'm happy to translate a little bit of our research into fame if we need it. Turn 69, nice. Combustion engine is done. So we can grab some oil. We do actually have enough influence to just build all these things with influence. So yeah, let's detach this. Grab that. Could build a nature reserve also. Sure, I guess. 10 stability. I mean, we don't need stability in this city. Did I honestly forget to pick guilds? Yes, I did honestly forget to pick guilds. All right. Well, don't tell Crowdilla that I forgot to pick guilds. Crowdilla, good deal. Don't tell yourself that I forgot to pick guilds along this. Just pretend like I have guilds and I'm making a bunch of forests. Done. I guess we could still pick this, but whatever. This tile is mostly done. Where's the other oil? There's the other oil. So you detach. Get that. I guess we will take a rail anyway. It's a pretty bad nature reserve. I don't really care about that. You come back into the fold. Did we have any other oil out here to try to pick up? I don't think so. I guess I'll explore with all of the infinity influence we have. Yep. Good. So you're at 12 out of 28, 24 out of 42. You're at 90 out of 80. You're at basically infinity, so you can go here. Yeah, we'll use Sermium to exploit this tile, that's fine. Buy out the workshop. Pick that up. I guess we probably should still pick up guilds. It's still good to be able to just translate infinity of floating, unnecessary, useless influence here to something good. No! Give me... Alright. Give me guilds first, and then do all of this stuff. There. That's the one case where the weirdness of that UI is going to help us rather than hurt us. Anyone who wants to copy my homework is welcome to at this point. You can have as much of that science as you feel like you need. Because I don't think it's going to give you the things that you need to stop me. And that's what I care about. Can you stop me? And if you can't stop me, then watch me vibe. Guess we could send a unit over there. We don't even have to kill purple at this point. Yeah, we don't even really have to kill purple at this point. We just have to do stuff. We just have to finish turns, Walker. That's all you have to do to win this. Stop dicking around, he says, and then moves his army over to attack purple. I'm not a complicated man, Crowdilla. I don't know if you're still here, but I like fighting. I love fighting. I agree with you entirely that the warfare system in Humankind is cool. I think the warfare system in Humankind is incredible. It's just that I think primarily the warfare system in Humankind mostly attracts me like as a guns butter problem more than anything else. So I'm not super worried about like lacking access to tactical combat if it means that I have a more interesting mid and late game. And I do generally. You definitely have a way more interesting early game though. That's the biggest strength, is you can't just immediately snowball by eating somebody. You do have to think about how you eat somebody to snowball, rather than just command word eat unit. All right, Aswer is doing stuff. This looks okay. We will have plenty of stability here, even if we build a couple of things. So let's build a couple more things. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. Build more research quarters so that we can finish this. And then I might honestly need to take a quick bio break before that, just so that way I can finish this out with a little more comfort. But I think we're still doing stuff. We're still doing the thing that we said we were going to do, which is just make all of our cities grow so fast that they're unreasonable. 800 money, you say? All right, I don't hate it. 800 money per turn is pretty good. I guess we could even build Symposium, because we will have enough turns to pick up the fame, and then to still work through to our super station, our fancy rocket boy. I don't think we need a hamlet here. 24 is not a gigantic amount, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's a reason to not build this here. So let's just build that. And then once we reach probably next turn or two, once these are done, I think what we'll start doing is just start rolling up a little bit of surplus with administrative center renovations, so we can just build all of the spaceship things, like turn after turn after turn, and Jimmy Jam. 426 34. Yeah, that'll grow pretty quickly. Let's do that. All right, so we get guilds, and we're now working on aeronautics and aerial warfare. All right, sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna take another bio break, and then I think we're at what, T minus like 3 turns. Three techs looks like 4 turns to get to rocket science. So we should be able to get this done before turn 80, it looks like, because we should be able to blitz through to that. Might have to pick up another couple of techs along the way, but I think we're mostly done. All right, I'll be right back. Let's finish this up. We got plenty of influence, so we can do plenty of foresting. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's right. It's all coming back to me now. So you detach this. If there's no, there's nothing useful there. I mean, I guess we could build civilian things, but whatever. Build a little more production to exploit. I just want to get the space thing done as quickly as possible, and the easiest way to do that is just make sure that the city that has the biggest production and the Topkapi Palace is just like Omega producing. If we get it to Omega produce, we should be pretty good. This is the outpost, so yeah, we could do here, here, and here. That's a Nematon, so it's not actually getting any extra production, but that's all right. And I guess we can detach this too. And there's the outpost, so yeah, production. I'm not sure if I should be trying to prioritize this in the absolute end of this game, to be entirely honest, because there are other incredibly valuable things to be doing with your production. But given that we're not currently being pressured to fight back against an AI trying to kill us, I think this is fine. Like, we'll see. We'll see. I think we're alright, though. Anybody here have... I guess we could use hamlets. Yeah, we could use this hamlet, whatever. Exploit all of this terrain. And you, I guess, are another outpost, so yeah, more production. That's a Nematon. Let's detach these. We're just gonna rebuild our capital entirely with 10,000 forests. I think we'll get enough out of it that it's worth it. Sure, we'll build some flying stuff. I like flying. Flying's cool. Unless we cannot fly because it is dangerous. I like flying because it is fun. Yeah, that looks alright. And I guess we'll grab... That's our outpost. So yeah, let's grab more forests here. I don't really care if we're sacrificing food. We don't really need it anymore. What we really need is just ridiculous amounts of production. I think we'll get there. Boom and boom. I guess boom. Sure. Yeah, that looks alright. Alright, capital city. I guess detach that too. Yeah, detach that too. Yeah, that looks alright. B1. Use your powers for good. Become a Hegelian hero. Yeah, we're sacrificing a little bit of food with Machu Picchu, but we're now at 1600 production, and I'm pretty sure we're just gonna like overflow production with administrative renovations whenever we start getting a little closer to rocket ships, which I guess we'll start doing probably next turn is my guess. So that way we just have enough overflow that we can like just one turn all of the rocket ship things. I think we'll get this done by turn 80 pretty cleanly. Yeah, we just need production to get there, and I think we will have production to get there. I guess we'll make a hamlet because we nominally need more jobs. Nominally. And I guess we could technically throw some forests here too, because we do actually have the ability to, so sure, yeah, we'll truck down some forests. People like forests. They're pretty good. People love the outdoors. My brother loves the outdoors. Bruno, if you ever meet my brother, you have to punch him in the arm. That's like the deal. You have to do that. I agree 100%, Croadilla, and that is another one of the 10,000 things that I will shill for Bruno for, because Machu is rebalanced in VIP and is a lot more fun, I think, because it doesn't like solve the game all on its own. We could potentially not do that. We could just take things that are worse and pretend like they are not as worse, but I think generally speaking, I prefer to not punch Harry wherever you want to. It doesn't matter. He's a younger brother, so he's used to me encouraging my friends to beat him up in Magic. That's like really that's the beginning of our rivalry. Is Harry is so much younger than me that like he got into a lot of the things that my friends and I were into when I was growing up, but because he's like just like 7 years younger, that he was very frequently outclassed by us in the things that we were doing until he got into his teens or whatever, and so you can just punch him in the brain, like just fight him in humankind, and he'll get frustrated until he learns to be stronger than us. That's what he'll do. That's that. I've observed that behavior out of Harry. He'll get better. He'll get better until he's stronger than all of us. All right, control or eliminate. I don't really know what the narratives are here, but I'm gonna eliminate because both of these are not great for us in terms of tracks, but I guess we can actually observe eliminate a little easier. There, we'll do that.
Oh,
Masai? Sure, whatever. Like, I don't. You are a participant in this game. You're at best an observer, I suppose. Should we just declare war on purple now? I mean, like, I don't know where their army is, but it doesn't feel like they have one. Let's grab this before this encampment becomes a city that I have to then wander over and attempt to conquer in the handful of turns that we have left. You could just not conquer it, Walker. That is an option. You don't need to be doing any of these things. Did you hear me? You don't need to be doing any of these things. Why aren't you listening? Oh, you had an ability to go to Peru. That's cool. I like Peru. I think South America is probably like second on my list of places that I'd like to visit. If we had the capital to visit locations, I would definitely want to probably go to Singapore first, because I'm a hungry boy, and the food that I have seen like associated with Singapore makes me just giddy with potential food, because you can eat ridiculously good food there for a food in the universe and not have to break the bank to do so. It makes me happy. It makes Eileen happy. Everybody wins. I guess what we'll do is we'll just keep doing this, and then as soon as we can switch over to child labor, we will do that. I bet it. Like that's why like South America is up there. But I do have one other food allergy that I have not revealed to chat, but I guess I'll tell you, Bruno. I'm not deathly allergic to bananas. I'm just allergic enough to bananas that I should not eat them. I have something called eosinophilic esophagitis, where I have these white blood cells, eosinophils, that exist in my throat, where I don't go into anaphylaxis or anything like that, but they'll just get inflamed whenever I eat anything that I'm remotely allergic to, and my allergy to like tree nuts is violent enough that I like identified very particular patterns of behavior out of myself whenever I would get exposed to something that I was allergic to on the tree nut side. But my allergy to bananas is extremely limited. It's just I'm only allergic enough to bananas that if I attempt to eat them, that I will typically have like an allergic reaction later on, and so it's annoying. I wish it were not the case. I love bananas, honestly, in terms of their flavor. I think they're great, but I cannot eat them responsibly, and that's just the way it is. Okay, no, I have no idea what it is. But I'm saying that one thing that you will encounter in South America, which is absolutely true, are plantains. And those are also in the same group of things that I like. I like eating plantains. I think they're delicious. I'm not allowed to eat them. And that is a big problem. But it's Walker deals with his own problems in his own ways. That's really what it boils down to. Yeah, we can buy this out, whatever. Yeah, we have the gold now. We can do whatever we want to. The AI's we're just clicking buttons at this point. AI is gonna just let us click buttons too, I think. I'd be astonished if they attempted to attack us, but if they did, we have 4 million pops that we can hurl at them, so I don't think that's gonna be a problem. Oh, but we should declare
If I cannot teach you
war.
wisdom, I will teach you.
Yeah, let's declare war. I'm not asking for any crazy things from you. I don't care about that. We're not getting any of that. Wait, what? How's that not reinforcing here? There we go. I guess I probably should have realized that we don't have access to siege weapons, and probably should have built another 6-stack here, huh? Yeah, should have done that. Did not matter, but I do think that's probably correct. I definitely feel like I need more troops.
If I cannot teach you wisdom,
No,
I will
eat
teach you
eat it, Caribbean pirates. I'm not giving you. Everybody else can copy my homework, but you have enough points that I'm not doing that. Chaufa is Peruvian. Oh, Peruvian Chinese food. All right, yeah, I'm down for it. Like, I love American Chinese food to a certain degree. When it comes down to like the things that I genuinely really enjoy from Chinese food, it's really more the other side of things. Like I like Sichuanese food. I like Cantonese food. Eileen's family is Cantonese, and so I get a lot of exposure there. But oh, are we gonna be able to do this? No, we don't need to start pre-queuing production. Yeah, we don't need to pre-queue. We can do at least 1 or 2 more real turns before we start just turning all of our growth into pure rockets. But I really like authentic Chinese food if it's available. But exploring like different elements of Chinese food is cool. My favorite stuff is stuff like the like offals. I like offals. I'm not complicated. I like eating things that come out of the guts of an animal. I am a hungry boy. 16, 24. Yeah, we'll get a little more production. And then we should be good on finishing that out. Yes, good. This looks good. This looks fine. Yeah, we will. This is the boring part, unfortunately, of ending a game of Humankind. Once you are at the point where the AI cannot stop you, you still have to click a bunch of buttons to get there, which is kind of why because you've rebalanced the game so much, Bruno, like you don't really have the same sort of problems that you do in vanilla, where like it doesn't feel like the AI is going to be able to stop you, because the AI absolutely can stop you in a VIP, but generically I like the victory conditions being fast from this point. I think generically that's something that is good. Specifically in the universe of VIP, I think it's probably fine that you've balanced the space race down rather than balancing the other ones up. It's 1, 2. Yeah, we're just gonna have a million stupid little guys here. We are gonna be able to one-turn most of these, I think. Yeah, we should be able to. Yeah, Xiaolongbao is awesome. We went to, so one of the other food tourist destinations that I'm glad we were able to go to before we were not. My brother used to live in New York City in Hell's Kitchen, and Eileen and I got to visit him once there, and that was really fun, honestly. Like we got to go to New York City and not have to pay for staying in New York City, so that was really awesome, and it meant that we got to like go to like really a lot of really nice restaurants. Was Cafe China is I think the place that I recommend the most, because Cafe China is like, oh, I can't be done with that perimeter, or whatever. Cafe China is a Michelin starred restaurant that basically just specializes in good Chinese food, and they make their own soup dumplings. Like it is something else. Yeah, that looks all right. Yep. And now one more turn on rocket science. So anyone who is Any of our cities that are done, I think we're just gonna, like, done building, I think we're just gonna use to queue surplus. So that way we can just obliterate the space race. Yeah, we just obliterate the space race. Whatever, just stand here. Don't waste people's time, Walker. Come on. Xinjiang, I've never had, so I've had Fujianese, I've had Sichuanese, I've had Cantonese, I've had what else have I had? I think that's the main groups that I've had, because those are the main restaurants that we have around here, honestly. And as much as I would love to visit China in order to do food tourism, I do not know if I have time or resources to do so. Look at this. We got 15 science, everybody. 15 science. Well, good. That's one thing I do like about. I'm also like learning how to cook Chinese food. Because there are like some really great content creators on YouTube who do that. Like Cooking with Lao is just an excellent resource if you want to know how to cook Chinese food authentically. Toisanese, that's the other thing I've had, because he makes Toisanese food, and that's fairly close to Cantonese, but it's a little different, and it's a little closer to the things that Eileen's family used to have, because although they are from Guangdong, they're like from right next to Toisan, and so a lot of the things that they make on Cooking with Lao are familiar to Eileen. And it's not that she like exclusively eats Chinese food, but she actually like mostly has not eaten Chinese food since like moving away from home. I haven't actually done a lot of cooking off of Chinese Cooking Demystified. We have encountered it before. Cooking with Lao is the one that we primarily use, just because it is the thing that we've experimented with before, and Eileen has enjoyed the things that I make for her off of that. So that's what we've been using. But I have seen Chinese Cooking Demystified, and I kind of feel obligated to at least attempt some of their recipes before writing it off. Yeah, all right, look at that. We're gonna roll through purple at the same time that we're trying to go into outer space, like a responsible person. We did it. We got a symposium too. Incredible. We're doing all the buttons here, Bruno. You cannot stop me. I guess this is fine, right? You have way more than enough stability to handle absorbing another spot here. So yeah, let's attach this. Let's buyrush this, I guess. Whatever. We have 1 million gold. Hypothetically, we could even put all of our influence into doing other stuff, but we're at the point where we can one-turn the space station with our worst city, basically. So yeah, we'll be able to finish this up pretty quick right here. Sure. Anyone who wants my homework is more than welcome to it. What is this? It's a scout. A scout. Really, guy. All right. We'll leave a dude here so they can't just like walk in. Asian ingredients are very hard to find. Yeah, we are fortunate enough that where we live, there is a very large, it's really more of a South Asian community that lives here than an East Asian community, but there are enough East Asians that we have access to like a multiple Chinese grocery stores here. We have access to a really big Korean grocery store. I don't know if you've heard of H Mart, but there is an H Mart here. But like, we have a lot of Asians in the area. More of them are South Asians, because there's like a ridiculous number of them living in Cary, but I like that because it means I get to go to as many Indian buffets as I want, or as many Indian buffets as I can actually afford to go to, which is less than I would like to go to, but probably more than I deserve. Yeah, I guess this knight could just hang out here. I don't know why you're here. Did I build a knight for some reason? I don't remember building that knight, but that's all right. Whatever. Just hang out. Just watch us go to Mars. Watch us do Mars things. Participate. We have 1 billion influence and 1 billion gold. So neither of these choices really matter, but that's okay. So I like Indian food, but it's primarily because of the question that I must ask myself in regards to Indian food, which I don't want to get distracted and make this even longer than it already is, but it's for me, part of it is like just I enjoy the food, but a bigger part of it is understanding the situation of like the development of Indian food in the United States, because I don't know how much you know about Indian temple culture, but that's something that I obsess about. Indian temple culture involves like people giving food out in, you know, massive quantities, and so what ends up happening in Indian temples, like the great Indian temples, is that they'll effectively create an Indian buffet, except it's they build a plate for you, and I cannot prove that this is something that has influenced the development of you know, Indian buffets in the United States, but it makes sense that it would be something that would influence the development of Indian buffets in the United States, and that's one of those like interesting elements. It's a Jain and Sikh thing primarily, you're right, but not exclusively. Like, I think they used to do it at Kashi Vishwanath, but like, it is something that is broad enough in terms of the Indian experience that it is pretty multicultural there. That is another one of those problems with India, is that if you're trying to describe India, it is so big and has been disunited for so long that there isn't like, this is what Indian food is, and it is only this one thing. There's gradations to it. Same with Chinese food. Yeah, it's all over the place. Like especially like even more so than Chinese food, honestly, because China was unified for a meaningfully bigger percentage of its existence as a nation state than India was. Partially thanks to imperial interventions, but it's just the way it is. Oh, we have a Nepalese restaurant, which I also very much enjoy. Nepalese isn't exactly Tibetan, but it's Tibetan adjacent. They experience similar things most of the time. I guess we'll work on a coal plant, because we don't need anybody to work on building things here. But even if Bruno has rebalanced things, yeah, lamb and goat are goated in the Walker book. I love both of those things. I have not had the opportunity to try horse. If I went to France ever, then that would definitely be on my hit list of animals that you cannot normally eat in the United States, but I would like to try just to see what they are like. And it seems like that might be easier to do in France than it would be to do in Central Asia, because getting to and from Central Asia would probably be pretty complicated. But getting to and from France is also expensive, so I don't know. It's an interesting thing. France, out of all of the European nations, is probably the one that I'd be most excited to go to be entirely honest. Yeah, they do. Not everybody, but it is something that is eaten in France. And I want to experience that. I think it would be fun. How are all these things done so quickly? Like, we're going to outer space. Why is it that we're able to do this in like one turn? I guess we'll just build some buildings. We'll pre-queue some extra production. If we need to switch some production over to space station things, then we'll do it. But it does feel like we're going to have infinity more production than we really need to finish this out in style. Where's another one? There's another thing to do. Yeah, I want to visit France. It's up there. If only so that way I can like revisit some things from the Revolutions podcast. I don't know if you've listened to the Revolutions podcast by Mike Duncan, Bruno, but you should. I think you'd enjoy it a lot. It's really good content, and definitely is one of those things where like having listened to it enough and watched Dante enough, I feel compelled to want to visit France at some point. But I also feel compelled to like de-economize my life as much as a medieval peasant as much as is humanly possible. Which don't try to figure out why that is. That's a waste of your time. It's just the way it is. that's just who Walker is. He's just doing ridiculous nonsense, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop him. All right, take microbiology. Sure, it doesn't matter. None of these texts matter. We're not gonna have naval artillery, but we will fly into outer space, I guess. The race is on. Science osmosis. We got another 15 science, Bruno. We did it. I don't know if this scales off of current incomes, but it kind of feels like it should, because otherwise, what are we doing? I guess we will do customary laws. Sure, it does not matter. Can we switch immediately back? We just switch immediately back. All right, cool. Good deal. We did it, everybody. You should listen to at least, like, I would check it out, but the Revolutions podcast is, like, really a masterpiece of podcasting. It's so good. It is so good. I guess we can just hunt you guys down. Yeah, let's just go this way. There's an ambassador over here, an envoy. Yeah. I don't know. We might hit space before we actually like kill purple. It does seem pretty likely, honestly, at this point. Oh, it happens in. All right, that makes sense. If it happens in an occupied, only get 15. All right, that's fine. I feel like some of the mechanics are mechanics where I would prefer they not be cheesable anyway. And if you can cheese those by occupying cities and stuff, then I'm happy with a balanced decision that makes it less ridiculous. I think most of the time you should not balance like away from what the crazy broken people are doing and more balance towards what the normal people are doing, so that way they have a good normal experience. But that's a short-term thing. Yeah, all right, everybody go build a lunar lander. Kinge will probably finish that off, honestly, but we'll just put all of our overflow into the lunar lander anyway, even though we don't strictly need to. If we can just keep overflowing into one thing after the next, then we can finish this out before your brain explodes. Yeah, that looks alright. Done. I guess we could take power lines or research. Let's take research institute. Did it. Great. We got a little extra fame. And I guess we could take uranium enrichment because it's here. Or we could take voluntary computing because it's here. If we were behind on fame, we would take communication satellites, because this is another way for us to get a buttload of fame, and we did have to do that in postmortem, thanks to my gross mismanagement of our early war, which we did win in that game, but we did spend a lot of food and whatnot to support our early aggression. We had a really interesting catch-up, but we did catch up. Not to spoil that, but we did get there. All right, did you build the second part of the... Yes, we built the second part of the thing. And now we need uranium to finish that last part. So it's a good thing that we were working on that, because I forgot that we needed that. I mean, I knew that we needed that. I was testing to see if you knew that we needed that, Bruno. And you did. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for remembering. It was really handy that you remembered that. Good. There we go. And now we can probably just get everybody to do that. Maybe it'll take 2 turns to build all of this. Maybe it won't. I don't know. We're going to have a lot of cities that can potentially roll over some production of this. It looks like it is going to be 2 turns. All right, whatever. Wait. God damn it. 1? Yo, sweet. All right. GG, everybody. What do you want to research as our last technology, Bruno? Do you want to research? Do you want to end this without naval artillery or siege cannons? I kind of like doing that on vanilla because it's silly. I'm gonna. There's nothing else here that we can research for like points, but I'm gonna research nuclear fission so that way we can get nuclear disarmament on the last turn of the game, and then reflect on the choices that we made. That's how this is gonna go. All right, cool. No, it's too late. You're oh, fine. Jesus. All right, where's civil engineering? There, we'll get civil engineering just because Bruno did respond in chat. If you want to fight Bruno and make it so that he does not make us take civil engineering, then show up for the stream next time, and then maybe we won't do that. Yeah. Instant resolution. Sick. Conquered the whole continent. Perfect. I want to see what you got, AI. Looks like what you got is, well, we're not going to actually, we're definitely not going to end immediately whenever we conquer this, or whenever we finish this game, because there is one thing that I want to do, which is have a conversation about like the graphs. This is another sort of thing that we're already kind of covering in postmortem, but I think that generically the graphs in Humankind can just be misleading because you'll try to read more into them than is actually there, because the majority of what we see in the game is just that like the game is not playing itself and is ignoring some of the critical elements of the game's rules, and that's a bummer because I love this game, but the AI does not currently interact with the rules in a favorable way, and that causes big problems for the game in terms of playability in the mid and late game, honestly, for me. Sure, we'll build the Congress also. Why not? We probably can. I mean, I don't think we're going to fail on the production here because we do have basically 1 million to roll over from the rest of the empire. So yeah, let's just see if we can build Humankind in 1 turn. Yeah, hang out, quit wasting people's time, Walker. Honestly, like just let them vibe. Why are you like this? Why are you trying to make it so people can't have fun doing inefficient things? Why are you trying to make it so that we can't put noob traps into our game and trick people? Like, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like if you have a bunch of noob traps in your game and you want new people to play the game and enjoy it, then you should probably not have noob traps. All right. End turn. We did it. This is the last turn of the game. Yes, mythical Nurgle's Herald. We did it. I guess we're gonna do war resolution and we're gonna ask for surrender. We'll just take it all, so that way there will be maybe 1 fewer player on the chart at the end of the game. Maybe.
You had no other option.
Yep, you have no other option. Give me all your cities. And look at that. We even have 6 over city cap, and we can still keep going. We have plenty of influence to do stuff with. So I that's the other thing when it comes to vanilla. I don't really know where the city cap limit is, because you can go ridiculously over city cap in ways that I think are a little silly. So that's another one of those things that I generically like about Bruno's numbers more than vanilla, but there's a lot of strength in the basic design of Humankind. It just needs to be balanced a little better, I think. and then all of us can have, I think, a lot more fun playing the game and not being worried about like what the most efficient route to do blah 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 is. I'm gonna take Big Ben. No, I'm gonna take Big Ben. We don't have any allies, but I don't care. I want to build it because it's there, and none of you can stop me. and that's the reasoning. I'm gonna build it because it's there, and none of you can stop me. Let's go to you. Sure. Yeah, you can build Big Build. You can build Big Ben. Can you say Big Ben, Walker? If you can't say Big Ben, I don't know if you can build Big Ben, but we will find out. Build that. I guess we'll buyrush this, sure. Buyrush that, sure. Mega stability in as many cities over cap as possible. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. Have you nerfed some of the mega stability tools in VIP? Like, one of the things that I do generically like about Swahili is just like how clean it is in terms of fixing up your stability problems, but one of the things I also don't like about it is how clean it is at fixing up your stability problems, because they're like enormous deltas when it comes to like how much you can grow. If you have any stability around, you can do really absurd things or whatever. In this turn, Walker, you really don't need to do any of this. It's just the way it is. Yeah, here. Nuclear proliferation. We're opposed to nuclear proliferation. Swahili is nerfed? Alright, good. I feel like Swahili is definitely too good. I don't know exactly how too good it is, but it definitely feels like it is the correct answer too often, given the economic production of the game. Alright, end game. We did it, everybody. Alright, let's take a brief look at the charts and talk about the consequences of that, and then also the consequences of the changes that really make the game like a lot better in VIP, I think. So the number one problem I have here is, I would just skip this. I want to go to this part. The number one problem I have with the game in vanilla is this chart right here. So in Humankind, there are a bunch of things that give you extra city cap, and if you have an AI that just like floats on 2 cities for the entire game, unsurprisingly, they're not only are they not going to present a good like challenge to the player in the mid and late game, I think they're also just communicating very poorly with people who are not particularly strong players, because they're gonna think that they should just have 3 cities all game, and like the HUD tells you not to do that, so I hope that the players understand that that is something they should not be behaving in. But like that is not really true in VIP because of the way that Bruno has rebalanced stuff. He has rebalanced the cost on wonders to reflect your cities. So if you want to go super wide, it prevents you from taking some of the very powerful like tools for scaling your economy out. And I think that's brilliant, because it also means we'll see this whenever we play VIP, because we're going to be playing primarily VIP. We'll do some vanilla things like this, just so that like we can experiment with cool things that Crowdilla tells us about, like doing Umayyads into Spain or picking up France to do crazy stuff in the industrial era. But like most of the time, I think the game in vanilla really solves itself even before the Dante patch because of the AI behaviors here in regards to cities. But the big problem is this right here, for the AI. The AI is building probably just like way more units than it has the food to support because of the few cities that it has. And so, and you get scaling free influence. The scaling free influence, Bruno, I don't know if it's like enough or not. It's definitely useful, but the biggest thing for me is the fact that you linked cities and wonders, because some of the wonders really are awesome, and making it so that I have to decide, is it more important for me to get another city, or is it more important for me to get more wonder scaling? And that is the other part of this graph, is that like we can go through and like look at all these other little lines and stuff, but you know what all these little lines tell you is that I just had a buttload more cities than everybody else. That's what they tell you. The other lines don't really mean anything because they all are a product of having like just 2 or 3 times more cities than the AI. So I don't know if Amplitude is going to have the time or ability to fix that. I will timestamp this for sure, so that way there's like more data for them to interact with. This is another kind of graph that I think is important for people to be looking at, is the fame thing, but because we can't like easily track fame against the other resources here in the game, it's a little harder to describe exactly what is going on here, but most of the time fame is a product, or should be a product, of getting widgets, and like don't worry too much about being ahead on fame at the early game. Like blue is ahead on fame for effectively most of the game here, but because we reached the end game first, we were able to compete for all of the competitive sources of fame there. We didn't even get all of the competitive sources of fame, honestly, because we didn't get any of the late game text that could have given us a lot more fame if we needed it. But that's like the way that the game works in Humankind in vanilla. You just snowball early, use the snowball to get ahead of the AI, because the AI is just like doing stuff. And then once you're well enough ahead of the AI, just get a bunch of fame, and then the game's over. You do not focus down fame. Get fame as a consequence of having done snowballing, and you'll just be much stronger. All right, unless anybody has any questions. Bruno, do you have any questions or any last little bits to add? Otherwise, I think we're good. I think we're done here, and then we will see how I want to handle multiplayer on Saturday. My guess is that I'm probably not going to stream the first game. Probably going to just focus on learning for myself, and I'm also gonna like be on the lookout to see if people are willing to do no manuals against the map, because I know that some people desperately want to do that, but I really do think that it makes the game just like unplayable. And if that's a line in the sand for multiplayer people, then I don't want to take away their fun, but I do not want to take away my fun either. And I will not have fun if we are manualing mammoths, even though I do know how to do it. It makes the game bad for me. It makes the game not fun for me. But I think Croadilla at least will be respectful of that wish. All right. Well, in that case, I might advertise it on Discord, but there's a different Discord that I'm in with Croadilla, with a bunch of random people. So like we might be able to get 3 or 4 players together. But even if we don't, then I still want to use Saturday for something useful in regards to Humankind. And if we don't have enough players to play multiplayer, then I'm more than happy to work with him on putting together a video about like egregious abuses and exploits that exist in Humankind that we really do need Amplitude to fix for both the multiplayer experience as well as for the single player experience, because there are some problems, and those should not be there. I think this game is best when it is not trying to be exploitative. I think when this game revolves around its fundamentals, which is what VIP does, I think this game owns. I think this game is incredible. All right, that's Walker. Take care.